A chilling voice echoes across a vast, mist-shrouded mountain range, demanding surrender and threatening retribution for a 1,000-year-old debt owed to the jade-pure deity and immortals. The majestic peaks, adorned with cascading waterfalls, stand as silent witnesses to the unfolding drama, their ancient stone structures hinting at forgotten histories. From the depths of this ethereal landscape, a menacing, skull-like visage, wreathed in dark red energy, manifests, its glowing red eyes burning with malevolence as the entity declares, "Any resistance is futile. Kneel and beg on your knees. Perhaps then I, the devil, may be forgiving enough to grant you a quick death." Meanwhile, far from the devil's threats, Fairy Sichuan, her face streaked with blood, feels a surge of power, realizing she has finally broken through to the divine attainment in the divine realm of the cultivation world, blessed with great fortune and heaven's will. The devil's true form, a formidable, bearded figure with piercing red eyes, solidifies from the swirling crimson energy, his voice echoing with finality as the skull-like visage returns, warning, "Those who disobey will die, and no one ever wants the Emperor's wrath." From above, the devil surveys the devastation he has wrought, his dark form radiating an oppressive aura as he looks down upon the broken remnants of the Jade-pure sect. Below, Fairy Sichuan gazes up, her eyes wide with despair, a single thought echoing in her mind. Is this really the end? Blood stains her robes and cheek, a stark testament to the overwhelming power she faced. The devil's glowing red eyes narrow, a cruel smirk playing on his lips as he taunts. "Can you guys still fight back?" Around Fairy Sichuan, other injured cultivators, including Li Qingzi and Elder Iron, lie defeated, their bodies bruised and broken, unable to rise. She reaches out a trembling hand towards Elder Iron, her voice filled with anguish, pleading for answers about the fate of their home, the Jade-pure sect. The devil's hand crackles with dark, jagged energy, poised to deliver a final, devastating blow that would reduce them all to ashes. Yet, a flicker of defiance ignites in Fairy Sichuan's pale blue eyes, her gaze hardening as she prepares for the inevitable. The devil's face, framed by swirling dark energy, twists into a sneer, mocking their resilience. "So you're still unwilling to give up? No matter how many people of the Jade-pure sect are still alive." The devil, his arm raised, prepares to unleash a devastating attack, dark red and purple energy swirling around him. But before he can strike, a fierce resolve hardens Fairy Sichuan's gaze, her eye widening in defiance. A faint pink aura begins to emanate from her as her hand clenches into a determined fist. With a defiant cry, she unleashes a torrent of vibrant pink and purple energy, declaring that the Jade-pure sect will not perish. The magical aura expands rapidly around her, swirling outwards with immense power. Her attack manifests as a sharp, cutting force, tearing through the air. Nearby, Li Qingzi watches the unfolding battle, his expression grim but determined. Elder Iron, surrounded by other cultivators, echoes the sentiment, stating that they must buy time for the disciples to escape, no matter the cost. As Fairy Sichuan's attack rushes forward, the devil stands firm, his glowing red eyes fixed on the incoming magic, dark energy rippling around him. Fairy Sichuan's resolve hardens, her gaze fixed on her target. As a brilliant, multicolored aura erupts from her, sending a column of golden light surging skyward, its power ascending with blinding speed. But from the encroaching darkness, a malevolent presence stirs, and the devil's face contorts in a snarl, his red eyes glowing with fury. His hand begins to glow with malevolent red energy, as he unleashes a torrent of spectral purple skulls, their ghastly forms swirling around him in a dark counterattack. Yet, before his own power can fully manifest, Fairy Sichuan's radiant attack slams into him, eliciting a pained cry. Still reeling from the previous blow, he is enveloped in a concussive blast. A moment of disorientation washes over him, the impact leaving him momentarily stunned. But his rage quickly ignites, golden energy erupting from his form as he gathers his strength. "Take it, Xian Yuan's sword," he bellows, unleashing a blinding wave of power. "Apply Heavenly Demon Formation," he commands, the attack surging forward. The powerful strike connects, and he swiftly captures Fairy Sichuan, holding her firmly. She thrashes against his grip, her determination unwavering. "Sichuan that lives under the work of Shio," she declares, her voice sharp with defiance. Suddenly, a golden light flares, and Hanju appears, his eyes fixed on the scene, as he calls out her name. As golden energy swirls around him, he reaches out, ready to intervene. Meanwhile, the devil scoffs, dismissing his opponent as a mere ascetic Taoist, at most a nascent soul cultivator. His hand glows with menacing red energy, unleashing a powerful attack wreathed in dark power. Fairy Sichuan remains visibly injured and held captive, her gaze fixed on the unfolding confrontation. With a determined gesture, Hanju declares, "Let me face him instead, Fairy Sichuan." He calls out her name, his expression resolute. Fairy Sichuan reacts with a mix of surprise and concern, uttering his name in disbelief. Enraged by Hanju's defiance, the devil prepares another attack, his hand crackling with red energy as he condemns the arrogance of a mere nascent soul cultivator. As the devil's fury mounted, Hanju begins his counterattack, his hands clasped in a precise gesture as a brilliant golden aura erupts around him. With a powerful stomp, he sends a shockwave of energy rippling across the ground. Then, with a sweeping motion, he unleashes a torrent of golden energy, swirling and expanding with immense force. His hand glows brightly as he declares his technique, the Nine Dragons Roar, Soul-Expelling Seal. The golden energy coalesces into a devastating punch, striking with explosive power. He presses the assault, enveloped in the radiant, dragon-like energy of his attack. The sheer power of the technique is undeniable, a triumphant display unfolding before their very eyes. The devil is caught squarely in the blast, his form twisting and distorting under the immense pressure of the golden energy. His face contorts in a mask of pain and fury as the red and black demonic energy around him struggles against the overwhelming force. A hand, poised over a set of glowing dice, prepares to roll again. As a system message flashes, detailing Grandpa's providence, a stark reminder that distinct love and friends are nonsense. Distance is gained and lost forever, and lifespan is determined by one's years. A frustrated sigh escapes him, wondering why he must endure such a lonely existence. He questions the meaning of distinct love, asking who would choose to be a loner for their entire life. His hand clenches, a faint glow emanating from his fingers, as a sharp "damn it" echoes his growing irritation. 11 years have passed, and Hanju's patience wears thin, demanding that Grandpa's system finally grant him something good. For he is Hanju, a soul from the 21st century, reborn into this world at the age of 21. He didn't want to ensure his longevity, only to stay home and play games. Who would have thought that the world would suddenly focus on cultivation? After his transmigration, he realized he was in a world that focused on cultivation, specifically the Jade Pure sect, where his parents were slaves, forced to plant spiritual herbs in the Red River Garden. Slaves to cultivation, he muses, even though spiritual herbs were like a deadly poison for mortals. So, at the age of 6, his parents left him behind. Elder Iron didn't mind him taking over his parents' duties, and just like that, he turned 11. Although he received a powerful system after reincarnation, it only allowed him to re-roll his spirit root and cultivation providence once a day. Sighing, he'd been rolling for nearly 10 years, refusing to believe he wouldn't be able to roll a good spirit root and cultivation providence before he stops cultivating. He counts the days, 1, 2, 3, 4. He goes through his morning routine, counting out his stretches. Once finished, he retrieves the familiar blue cube, a daily ritual to test his fortune with the system, wondering aloud if today would be his lucky day. The system activates, displaying the disheartening result, a spirit root of 1 in a million garbage, rendering his efforts vain. A heavy sigh escapes him, the familiar disappointment settling in. Knowing this outcome all too well, he decides to abandon the spirit root reroll and try for his connate providence instead. A moment passes before the system interface flashes with an unexpected result, causing him to gasp in disbelief. The blue cube in his hand glows intensely, reflecting his wide-eyed astonishment. He stares at the words, top-class connate providence, a triumphant laugh escaping him as he realizes he's finally hit the jackpot. Lying back in a field, a sense of profound satisfaction washes over him, as Hanju revels in his newfound good fortune. With 4 top-class connate providences now secured, he muses that he wouldn't mind re-rolling his spirit root until he's 40, if that's what it takes. After 1,000 years of life, he feels he deserves a truly satisfying spirit root, refusing to be stuck in mediocrity for the rest of his days. Looking out at the vast world before him, Hanju declares that a day will surely come when his name is etched into history. He considers the path ahead, where one might enjoy all conveniences and eventually become a new devil, simply by possessing such providence, but then wonders what other cultivators are doing in this area. His gaze lifts to the sky, where 2 figures soar gracefully through the air. Below, common folk gaze up in awe, exclaiming at the sight of an immortal, wishing they too could achieve such greatness. With glowing red eyes, the devil scoffs at the thought of jealousy, convinced that once he achieves a top-class spirit root, he will surpass all others. Meanwhile, in a serene herb garden, a cultivator instructs his companion to watch over the plants, warning them not to disturb him. Overhearing the conversation, Hanju looks down, a question forming in his mind about Elder Iron's whereabouts. A female cultivator approaches, explaining that a powerful sect has sent them to guard him, urging him to be at ease. Feeling a wave of relief wash over him, Hanju acknowledges the good fortune, yet a lingering thought persists. He still needs a spirit root. He muses that the cultivation world is never truly peaceful, and even with a top-grade spirit root, he'll still need some measure of self-defense. The next day, a new decree arrives. The god of fortune has ordered a spirit root for him, but he dismisses it as trash again. The day after that, another message proclaims, "Hallelujah, I am God's chosen one." After one excruciating year, he still finds himself lamenting his lack of progress, wishing for some luck. 2 years pass, the world outside blanketed in snow. He remains deep in meditation, 2 years having flown by since his arrival in this world, yet still no spirit root has manifested, and he wonders when he will finally be able to cultivate, unable to simply sit idly by. A sigh escapes him as he considers a D-grade spirit root, quickly dismissing the thought as a waste, determined to live his second chance at life to the fullest. Suddenly, a commotion erupts outside, voices calling for everyone to greet the returning Lord. The crowd parts as the Lord, a figure of authority, steps onto a raised platform. He exchanges words with Elder Iron, thanking him for his diligent care of the place during his absence. From a distance, Hanju observes the scene, listening to the fawning cultivators around him, some praising the Lord, others grumbling about the hierarchy. His thoughts are interrupted as a cultivator approaches, urgently calling for him to face the Lord at once, leaving him startled. Nearby, two other cultivators speculate on why the Lord would specifically ask for him, perhaps to assign him to a particular part of the garden. The Lord's voice cuts through the air, demanding to see his hands for an examination of his spiritual roots. He tries to protest, but the Lord's stern gaze and questioning tone leave no room for argument. A flicker of worry crosses his face as he notices blood on his clothes, wondering if he'd been injured without realizing it. With a firm command, the Lord extends his hand once more, and he reluctantly complies. A sigh escapes the Lord's lips as he examines the young man's hand, concluding that his spiritual roots are flawed, perhaps even non-existent, a tragic fate for any cultivator. But then, a sudden glow emanates from the young man's hand, and the Lord's expression shifts to surprise, then an eager offer of discipleship, asking if he accepts. Overwhelmed with shock and joy, he readily accepts. In his mind, he sees a younger version of himself, reflecting on the sheer fortune of this moment, believing this new disciple will surely achieve immortality, becoming completely different from them. Yet, a darker thought follows, a stark reminder of his own perceived insignificance compared to the path now open to the new disciple, a path he believes the other will never be able to return from. The world of immortal cultivation is an arduous path, demanding extreme effort to achieve absolute power and safety. 30 more years passed, and Hanju, now older, still sought to cultivate a peerless spirit root and begin his journey. A wide smile spreads across his face as he exclaims, "It feels so good to finally have some good luck." He gazes at a translucent system window, reflecting on his progress. The spiritual root of the 6 paths is finally whole. Now that it's complete, what else am I waiting for? He considers the implications of his newfound power. I'm nobody, so nobody knows I still exist. After Zhang was killed, everyone thought I never returned. I just need to hide myself and grow into a pillar. His thoughts continue, a plan forming in his mind. If they find out that I can cultivate, I'll be forced to do things they tell me to. Create a sect? No, thank you. We're talking about a system, so it's okay. With a decisive gesture, he taps the glowing interface. His eyes gleam with determination as he looks at the system, ready to embrace his destiny. A system message confirms his choice. Hanju will officially step on the road of cultivation today. System, let's begin. A powerful surge of luminous blue energy begins to emanate, forming abstract, almost digital patterns around a faint human silhouette, which intensifies dramatically, coalescing into a blinding vortex of light that radiates outwards. Standing amidst the surging power, he is enveloped as the energy forms sharper, more geometric patterns, seemingly flowing into and around his form. The intricate energy expands further, filling the entire space with a complex, controlled array of luminous blue and white. Hanju finds himself presented with a profound choice: the 6 paths of reincarnation technique, allowing him to cultivate all elements, or the peak grade cultivation technique, which focuses on a single path. He must choose his main path of cultivation. As he meditates, surrounded by the ethereal representations of the various cultivation paths, sword, fire, multi-attribute, wind, he knows he must make a decision. Considering the options, he muses that if he were to cultivate all 6 paths, it would be too difficult, but choosing the path of a sword cultivator feels like the best choice. With his decision made, he settles into a deep meditative state, and the process of cultivation begins. He wonders what he is about to cultivate, a new journey unfolding before him. A vibrant, swirling energy envelopes him, his body now filled with an overwhelming sense of power, as if his very being is being remade. As the system interface materialized before him, a stern warning echoed, reminding him that once he embarked on the path of cultivation, centuries would pass in the blink of an eye, demanding discipline to either achieve immortality or turn to dust. It then presented his current attributes, wishing the young man good luck, revealing his spirit root to be 9 out of 20. The system continued, detailing the spiritual physique of the 6 paths, proclaiming it the most powerful cultivation technique, capable of making one a peerless immortal upon mastery, before listing other top-grade options like elemental, body, soul, divine ability, and great cultivation techniques, all distinct from the 6 paths. Considering the choices, he mused, preferring a few more options, wondering about the implications of relationships within each path. Suddenly, a stark message flashed across the interface, labeled hate, declaring that he had regrettably failed, lacking the potential to cultivate, and that he would relentlessly bring trouble upon himself, an image of Elder Iron appearing alongside the damning words. A surge of fury coursed through him, making him exclaim, "Shit, Elder Iron, you asshat. I spent so many years toiling away taking care of you, and you actually hate me?" He tried to rationalize, telling himself to hold on, that it must be a mistake, perhaps because his parents ran away and wanted nothing to do with him, and besides, Elder Iron had been missing for years, unable to cause trouble and peace. Shaking off the frustration, he declared, "Let's not waste any more time and start cultivating right now." His resolve hardened, vowing, "I'll leave this filthy mortal realm as I reach the 9th stage of the refining spirit realm." Settling into a meditative pose, he thought, "I'll see what that old fogey can do to me then." He sits in quiet contemplation, a system window displaying his current cultivation options, each path promising a different destiny. Among them, the spiritual physique of the 6 paths stands out, a top-grade technique offering the most powerful cultivation, though it requires a spirit root of all 5 elements. Other options include various elemental techniques, body and soul cultivation, and divine abilities, each with its own benefits and requirements. With a resolute gaze, he declares, "I can hide my cultivation, spirit root, and potential. The system is really spoiling me now." A confident smile plays on his lips as he makes his choice. "Of course, I'll choose the second option." 2 years later, the world outside continued its slow, steady turn. Within his secluded space, Hanju diligently cultivated, stirring glowing elixirs with practiced ease. He proudly surveys his flourishing spiritual herbs, a testament to his hard work, noting, "I've already reached the 9th level of the refining spirit realm from practicing these 4 types of herbs." The vibrant plants shimmer with an ethereal glow, a clear sign of their potent spiritual energy. A smug grin spreads across his face as he reflects on his progress. "Nobody saw me, did they? Then I'll be the strongest in history." As the morning sun rises, Hanju concludes his training, observed by other cultivators who remark on his diligence, noting his hard work and predicting a great future for him, while also admiring his handsome appearance. He simply smiles, seemingly oblivious to their chatter. Suddenly, a woman with flowing dark red hair and an elegant dark outfit approaches him directly, her voice clear as she asks him to come with her for a while. Hanju responds with a hesitant agreement, surprised by the unexpected request. He follows her through the serene, wooded path, his mind racing with questions about her intentions. He knows Xing Hongxian has a reputation for seeking out the most promising disciples, yet she has never interacted with anyone of his status before. As she walks ahead, a system notification appears before him, revealing her name, Xing Hongxian, and a surprisingly low favorability rating of 1 star, along with the cryptic message that she has a deep interest in him. His eyes widen in disbelief at the rating, wondering what 2 girls could possibly mean. He finds himself unable to shake the feeling that something is amiss, his mind racing with the system's warning about her low favorability. This woman's deep interest in him is truly starting to cause trouble, yet he can't help but wonder what she wants him to do. With a confident smile, she assures him there's no need to be nervous, casually asking if he'd like to be her slave for the rest of his life. She continues, her voice smooth and persuasive, suggesting that no one would want to be a slave here entirely, but that she has been present since his birth, even mentioning Elder Iron. Then, her tone shifts to an offer, proposing to help him do something about his mortal identity. He ponders her words, a single question echoing in his mind. What exactly does she want from him? She clarifies her request, explaining that she needs his assistance to obtain Elder Iron's alchemy recipe, promising that if his aptitude proves good, she wouldn't even mind having him as a companion. A jolt of surprise runs through him as he hears the mention of the fiendish cult, his eyes widening in disbelief. Hanju stares down at the lush greenery, a single thought echoing in his mind, a fiendish cult. He grapples with the impossible choice before him, realizing that refusing the jade slip would mean being hunted across the world, yet accepting it would surely lead to his demise at the hands of its owner. Meanwhile, deep within a secluded forest, Xing Hongxian offers reassurance, promising discretion and time to consider his options. Hanju, his foot visibly injured, acknowledges the immense power of their patriarchs, but insists on his own methods, refusing to involve Elder Iron in his current predicament. He laments his lack of knowledge regarding the item's location and the presence of Elder Iron's guardian in the attic. Xing Hongxian, however, already knows its whereabouts and reveals her intention to remain absent for the next few years. He lies there, recovering, his body still mending from recent events. As Xing Hongxian leans over him, her voice a soft murmur, assuring him that as his guardian, she would never let him suffer. She offers a small, dark object, a recipe for a spirit root, urging him to eat it, calling it a greeting gift. His eyes narrow, a flicker of suspicion crossing his face, wondering if it could truly be that simple. A mischievous smile plays on her lips as she holds the dark pill, a gut-piercing poison, she calls it. Before he takes it from her hand, a quiet good boy from her sealing the exchange. He looks up at her, a silent question in his gaze, as she promises to relax after the deed is completed, referring to him as her husband. He can only curse her internally. Later, alone in his cultivation chamber, he considers the system's prompt to expel the poison from his body. His gaze sharpens, a decision forming. With a surge of energy, he declares that Xing Hongxian will never truly get away with this. He considers his predicament, weighing the options before him, wondering if he should simply yield to the woman who had poisoned him. Even if he were to help her, he muses, it might not benefit him in the slightest, perhaps even causing more harm. Suddenly, a system message appears, offering him choices related to the fiendish cultivator Xing Hongxian, including accepting a spirit root recipe, refusing and dying, or refusing to gain an alchemy recipe or a sword technique. He is surprised to find there's even a system mission tied to this, one that promises rewards for not helping her. With so many unexpected paths laid out, he wonders what more there is to choose from. A sigh escapes him as he thinks of Xing Hongxian, deeming her incorrigible. A new thought seems to strike him, drawing a soft HM from his lips. Meanwhile, Li Qingzi informs him that the alchemy recipe is located in the study room, and he plans to lead the guard away from Elder Iron's place, giving Hanju time to return home. He reminds Hanju that the mystic array has a protective barrier, ensuring Elder Iron will be safe if anything happens, but stresses the urgency, emphasizing that there isn't much time and the task needs to be completed quickly. He finds himself in a dark, quiet space, a moment of calm before the storm. Outside, the imposing structure of the pagoda looms under the moonlight, its many floors reaching towards the sky. But the diversion has already taken its toll, as a fallen figure lies amidst the debris, a casualty of the chaos. The narration box reads, "This man must be the brother Elder Iron mentioned. He was supposed to distract the guards, but he's still unconscious. I don't know your name, but rest in peace, brother." Hanju looks down at the injured man, a silent acknowledgement of the sacrifice. From a nearby corridor, a guard's voice echoes, "She has gone that way. Follow her." Another voice quickly adds, "Go and inform Elder Iron, fast." Hearing the commotion, Hanju realizes the situation has escalated. That witch, Xing Hongxian, is quick, managing to lead many people away. Despite the unexpected turn of events, he makes a firm decision, reluctantly acting for a little while longer. Moving swiftly and silently through the ornate hallways, he continues his infiltration. Finally, he arrives at his destination, the study room, its entrance now clear. He stares at the large, ornate box, a sense of exasperation washing over him. The sheer scale of the warehouse is daunting, making the search for a single alchemy recipe feel like an impossible task. He recalls the words of others, how some people are simply different, like Elder Iron, whose wealth and influence are beyond compare, a stark contrast to his own struggles. Suddenly, a voice cuts through his thoughts, asking what he's mumbling about and if he's found the alchemy recipe. He finds himself on the floor, looking up at Xing Hongxian, who questions if he's been slacking off, her tone light but probing. Her gaze is sharp, a knowing smile playing on her lips as she declares she saw everything. He attempts to explain himself, but she dismisses his words, insisting that his excuses don't matter. The shelves around them are filled with ancient scrolls and mysterious artifacts, a testament to the study's purpose. A jolt of surprise runs through him as he looks at her, her expression still holding that enigmatic smile. After a long and arduous search, the elusive alchemy recipe finally comes into view, a cylindrical scroll lying amidst shattered fragments. A voice, filled with disbelief and triumph, exclaims, "Alchemy recipe." Hanju stands over Xing Hongxian, who kneels before him, her expression a mix of anger and desperation, as she demands to know why he would hide such a powerful cultivation technique from her. A voice echoes in his mind, warning him, "No way, dude. How can you hide things like this? I'm screwed. Once she gets her hand on it, she'll kill me." As he walks away, the thought persists that with the alchemy recipe, she would surely kill him. He returns to find her still distraught, holding her close as she sobs, muttering about being exiled or perhaps even killed. He tries to reassure her, but the voice in his head insists, "What should I do? If the alchemy recipe is in her hand, how can I cultivate the divine sword?" Hanju's gaze sharpens, a flicker of resolve in his eyes as he considers, should I make a sneak attack? Xing Hongxian, holding a small, intricate container, wonders aloud how to open it. Suddenly, a surge of energy makes Hanju's eyes widen in surprise, a gasp escaping him as a powerful force erupts. A vibrant green energy bursts forth, violently pushing Xing Hongxian back, her body recoiling from the impact. Even Hanju, standing nearby, feels the residual shockwave, clutching his hand as the red container he holds glows ominously. From the swirling green energy, Elder Iron emerges, his form crackling with a blue aura, his voice booming with indignation, demanding to know who dares to tamper with his alchemy recipe. Xing Hongxian, caught off guard, stares in disbelief, her mind racing to comprehend when Elder Iron could have possibly returned. Still being repelled by the persistent green energy, she realizes the gravity of the situation, thinking that if other cultivators never accepted the recipe, there must be something deeply suspicious about it. Elder Iron, his face contorted in fury, continues his assault, sending her flying through the air with a declaration that she will die. As she tumbles, Xing Hongxian curses her own misjudgment, realizing she had walked directly into his trap, her energy detection having betrayed her by revealing her presence to Elder Iron. She reaches for the container, her resolve firm. The alchemy recipe is hers, even if it means sacrificing her figure. But a stern voice cuts through her thoughts, warning her to stop, to not assume this is all there is. Before she can react, a powerful, unseen force erupts from the container, sending her flying backward as Elder Iron appears, lamenting that without the fiendish cultivator's trap, they would have never even considered such a move. As she recoils from the impact, he confronts her, asking if she truly believed it would be so simple, dismissing her attempts to hold him off. From a distance, Hanju watches the scene unfold, demanding to know what happened, though his expression suggests he already has a good idea. Elder Iron scoffs at Xing Hongxian, accusing her of being used, mocking her belief that he intended to groom her to be his wife. Embarrassed by his words, she urges him to stop, realizing her master might have noticed something and that she'll have to take responsibility for her actions. With the confrontation seemingly resolved, Hanju turns to leave, telling her it's enough and to go back to sleep, receiving a quick, "Yes, sir," in response. He glances back one last time before continuing on his way. 2 years later, despite acquiring a cultivation spell that glows with a soft, golden light, Hanju finds himself frustrated that it remains stubbornly at rank 1. His cultivation has been stagnant for an entire year, a fact that weighs heavily on him as he chops wood, vowing this will be the last time he performs such a mundane task. A few days later, he finally leaves the solitude of his cave, realizing he's been isolated for so long he's forgotten the city's appearance, and fears becoming a savage if he doesn't re-engage with the world, even if it means risking exposure. As he walks, he overhears 2 passers-by discussing Elder Han's pursuit of a fiendish cultivator, a conversation quickly dismissed as nonsense by one of them. Hanju, lost in thought, recalls how Elder Iron's cultivation was stuck at the 9th level of the refinement realm, unable to advance, a stark reminder that not everyone possesses the innate potential for easy breakthroughs as he does. Looking up at the sky, he acknowledges the profound changes that are now upon him, bidding farewell to his old life in the cave. A new chapter is beginning, as a distant city beckons. Soon, he will take part in the sect's outer disciple assessment, determined to keep his true abilities hidden from others. Arriving at the sect's entrance, he is immediately challenged by a pair of guards, who demand to see his sect pass. Without hesitation, Hanju introduces himself as a rogue cultivator. He then reveals his cultivation level, stating he is at the 9th level of the Qi refinement realm, and inquires about joining the Jade Pure sect. Arriving at a grand entrance, a figure in cultivator robes instructs Hanju and Li Qingzi to wait, promising to send someone to notify them. Soon after, Elder Iron approaches them, remarking that there's no need for trouble as he was already on his way out, then asks if they are in the 9th level of the Qi refinement realm and wish to join their sect. Li Qingzi introduces himself as an outer sect disciple and then, addressing Hanju as Brother Han, politely requests to examine his spiritual energy. Repeating his request to see his spiritual energy, Li Qingzi receives a simple, affirmative "sure" from Hanju. With a focused expression, Hanju extends his hand, and a brilliant golden aura flares around him, radiating pure spiritual energy. As he considers his situation, the young man identifies himself as a disciple of the Jade Pure sect, though he admits he's unsure about its true nature, believing it to be located in a small, isolated world. His companion, Li Qingzi, questions his identity and purpose within the sect, before quickly reassuring him that there's no problem and instructing him to follow, promising to lead him to the Jade Pure sect proper. Elder Iron expresses his gratitude and agrees to take them to the inner sect, but then pauses, inquiring about the outer sect disciples and their need to enter the inner sect as well. The 2 disciples then find themselves in the Jade Pure sect's outer sect, a vast area divided into several sections, each with its own establishment hall, where new disciples register and receive their cultivation resources. Hanju observes the numerous inner sect disciples around them, still pondering the true location of the Jade Pure sect within a small world. Even the outer sect members are unaware of the inner sect's inner workings, a testament to the Jade Pure sect's immense power. Li Qingzi confirms that the Jade Pure sect is indeed a major cultivation sect and one of the best in the Great Qin, though he clarifies that while it primarily accepts disciples from the Great Qin, it's not an absolute rule. He then asks Hanju if he lacks a spiritual root, explaining that those with a thunder spiritual root can apply directly to become an inner sect disciple. Otherwise, entry is limited to once every 100 years, as the inner sect is the core of the Jade Pure sect, nurturing its true talents. Meanwhile, Xing Hongxian, her eyes glowing with a faint purple aura, pleads with an unseen brother Yu for help with her cultivation, promising to repay him if she can enter the inner sect. As a voice declares the impossible, that a rare genius with 6 elemental attributes can directly enter the inner sect, Hanju thanks Brother Yu for his guidance, receiving a casual no problem in return. Meanwhile, within the Elder Hall, the news spreads of a rogue cultivator with 6 earth spirit roots who has been in the Jade Pure sect for over a year. Li Qingzi ponders the strange situation, finding it odd that someone with such potential hasn't already entered the inner sect. Elder Iron, surprised, asks if the first elder is present, while Hanju, unable to discern the elder's cultivation level, wonders if he's in the Foundation establishment realm. Realizing he's being checked on by an elder, Hanju resolves to avoid being discovered, deciding that while 6 elemental attributes make him a rare genius, he doesn't want to be one, and must suppress his true potential. As Li Qingzi urges Brother Han to reveal his thunder's spiritual root, Hanju mentally shouts for him to stop. With a sudden thump, Hanju reveals his wind spirit root, announcing it as a triple spirit root. He then receives his sect pass, a storage bag, 100 low-grade spirit stones, and a Jade Pure sect target robe. internally concluding that he'll have to settle for the triple spirit root, as it's far better to be a genius than a mere mortal. Lying back, he savors the moment, grateful for the secluded room. He plans to use this quiet time to cultivate his fire spirit root to the 9th level of the Qi refinement realm before the first elder returns. He finds cultivating to be a truly pleasant experience, though he knows that for someone with 6 spirit roots, it would normally be a difficult path, requiring many rare heavenly materials. Such a cultivator would typically need several hundred years to achieve a breakthrough. Fortunately, he possesses a unique cultivation route that encompasses all 6 spirit roots, allowing him to progress without exhaustion. In his previous life, he only ever felt the fleeting pleasure of gaining power, never truly understanding the importance of extending his lifespan. From the very beginning of his cultivation, one thought has dominated his mind: to live a long life. He recalls his past, a life spent neglecting his body, immersed in the internet, only to be diagnosed with a terminal illness at a young age. It was then that he truly grasped the preciousness of life. Meanwhile, in another part of the sect, a young man with light brown hair and glasses speaks aloud, apologizing for the half-year wait, as the first elder has finally returned. Hanju, glowing with spiritual energy, reaffirms his resolve. In this new life, he seeks neither fame nor fortune, nor beauty, but simply to live for a very long time. The young man reiterates his apology, confirming the first elder's return after a 6-month absence. A man with glasses stares wide-eyed, his expression a mix of shock and disbelief. Another observer, his face etched with concern, mutters, "Don't tell me you've been cultivating in this room without leaving?" His aura has gotten a lot stronger. Meanwhile, Hanju, enveloped in a brilliant, fiery aura of cultivation, opens his eyes, a question forming on his lips. Half a year has passed. He has reached the 9th level of the fire cultivation refinement realm. Arriving at the Grand Elder Hall, Hanju bows respectfully. As a bearded elder explains that his fire spirit root is too weak, having kept him at the 6th level of the body refining realm for half a year. Li Qingzi confirms this, adding that he might never become an elite disciple. The bearded elder then clarifies that out of 100 disciples tested each year, only a genius among them would be able to bypass the outer sect competition. A chubby elder, holding a teacup, continues the explanation, stating that if one proves to be a genius, they can directly become an inner sect disciple. Otherwise, they must participate in the outer sect competition and strive to become an inner sect disciple as soon as possible. Taking in the information, Hanju's expression hardens with resolve, acknowledging that he understands the path ahead. With his resolve firm, he declares, "All right, let's go." As they journey through the majestic, cloud-shrouded mountains, his companion remembers to add, "Oh, I forgot to mention, the Jade Serene Peak is quite competitive. Some are cultivating geniuses, and some are training hard all the time." He continues, turning to the young man. "What kind of training do you want to join?" The young man replies, "I prefer being quiet. I don't like crowds, and I like low profile." A knowing smile spreads across his companion's face. The Jade Serene Peak might suit you," he suggests, gesturing towards a distant, ethereal mountain. "You will definitely like that place." He gazes up, a single thought echoing in his mind. "It's big." As Li Qingzi explains, "In front of us is the Jade Pure Sect's inner sect." The sheer scale of the mountain range, jagged and imposing, stretches into the sky. Hanju can only stare, a silent exclamation mark hanging in the air as he takes in the immense landscape. Li Qingzi continues, "Cultivators are always fighting for resources, but you don't have to worry. You'll be able to break through to the golden core in no second time." He gestures towards the towering peaks, adding, "Look there, that is the inner sect of the Jade Pure Sect. You will be able to receive mana and cultivation as your salary here." Below them, a sprawling complex of buildings suggests a bustling hub, a place where, as Li Qingzi mentions, of course, you can also trade here. Hanju, still processing the sight, admits, "I've underestimated the Jade Pure Sect's power. I thought it was a small sect, but look at the cultivation prowess." Li Qingzi nods in agreement. "I never knew it's this big." His eyes fall upon an ancient, colossal structure, prompting a gasp of awe and terror. "Disturbing. What is this place? I've never heard about it before." He wonders, before letting out a terrified scream. Li Qingzi warns him, "Be careful. If you fall from here, you'll die even if you're in the 9th level of the Qi refinement realm." Having finally reached Jade Serene Peak, Hanju takes in the vast, serene landscape, though Li Qingzi notes that the number of disciples here is the lowest and weakest among all the peaks. He continues, explaining that of the 18 peaks, Jade Serene Peak is indeed considered the lowest and weakest, a fact Hanju had not anticipated. This is due to the peak's coaching elder, Elder Iron, who is famously lazy, indolent, and unfathomable, preferring to cultivate in seclusion and demanding silence. Furthermore, she forbids her disciples from forming friendships, ensuring they remain ascetic and focused solely on cultivation. Li Qingzi then assures Hanju that Jade Serene Peak is the ideal place for his secluded cultivation, though he still has much to learn about the sect. He mentions that while the other 17 peaks are lively, there is one more thing to consider, a person named Xingju. Li Qingzi reiterates his belief that a good cultivator should focus solely on their practice, asking Hanju for his thoughts on Jade Serene Peak as his new home. Meanwhile, a powerful female cultivator declares that Hanju, possessing the best cultivation talent in the Jade Pure sect, must be the one to bring glory to the entire sect and all its elders. Elsewhere, a young male cultivator expresses his satisfaction, noting that Jade Serene Peak finally has a decent junior brother. This sentiment is echoed by Xing Hongxian, who appears with a confident smile. He considers the system's assessment, a slight frown touching his lips. She thinks I have an awesome look, yet my charm only rates 2 stars. His internal system flashes, displaying a new notification. As long as there's no betrayal, no exclusion, and no head-on fights, I don't want to stay single. The message concludes with a disheartening update. Favorability dropped 1 star? How terrible. Meanwhile, a commanding voice echoes, challenging a spellcaster to attack, to reveal their true ability. Xing Hongxian watches with an expectant gaze. Across from her, Xing Ju's eyes narrow with resolve, declaring his intent to go all out. A golden blur erupts from his position, streaking across the space with blinding speed, culminating in a brilliant, explosive impact. Xing Hongxuan's robes billow from the force, her expression unreadable as she witnesses the display. Xing Ju stands firm, his hands still glowing with the residual power of his sword qi, the raw energy still visible around him. A slight smile plays on Xing Hongxuan's lips, acknowledging the impressive feat with a quiet, "It's not fair to do so much, not bad." As the system continues to process his interactions, Hanju receives a notification that Chang Yuer's favorability towards him has increased to 2 stars, followed by another, indicating Fairy Shixian has also generated good feelings, reaching 1 star of favorability. A new figure, a woman with flowing white hair, demonstrates a sword skill that is deemed quite impressive, perhaps even worthy of a place at Jade Serene Peak. Meanwhile, Hanju sits as Xing Hongxian kneels before him, declaring, "I will not let you down, master." He observes her intently, a question forming in his mind. Why is she staring at me like that? Don't tell me. His thoughts continue. She's waiting for me to meet her as master. Later, Hanju bows deeply, offering a formal greeting to another master. Disciple Hanju greets the master. May the master live tens and hundreds of thousands of years. The master, Chang Yuer, responds with a gentle smile. There has no need for such exaggeration. Chang Yuer clears her throat, a playful glint in her eye as she muses aloud, wondering if she's truly an empress, before instructing someone to bring her junior brother to register. Meanwhile, Xing Hongxian embraces Hanju tightly, asking him if he knows how to play with the sword. He replies that he has yet to learn, while an unseen observer notes that the boy's appearance is truly excellent, and his character isn't bad either. Xing Hongxian holds him closer, her thoughts consumed by the need to protect this junior brother, believing such a good kid is hard to find. Hanju, looking flustered, assures her there's no need for her to trouble herself. Xing Hongxian smiles, telling him he is so kind, as 5 years have passed, exactly 5 years. Her internal monologue reveals a deep affection, proclaiming that within the entire Jade Serene Peak, he is her one and only junior brother, so handsome, with an attitude and personality that perfectly matches her taste, making him so good that it was worth waiting all these years. Hanju can only huff, overwhelmed by her intense feelings. Finally, Chang Yuer stands before a glowing cave entrance, instructing him to enter, assuring him that his cave abode is ready for him to cultivate at ease, to which he gratefully thanks his senior sister. Hanju lets out a soft sigh, reflecting on the sect, which has far exceeded his initial expectations. He feels invigorated by his cultivation, yet the sheer scale of spiritual energy makes him anxious. His thoughts drift to his master, Fairy Shixian, a nascent soul cultivator, a level far beyond his current comprehension. A lesson from a pet beast comes to mind, highlighting the vast difference between the outer and inner sects, even for a foundation establishment cultivator. The system details the path from Dantean seed to golden core, explaining how spiritual energy tempers the body and improves physical constitution. It then outlines the progression to nascent soul, where enough spiritual energy transforms the golden core into a spiritual body, granting unimaginable power. He learns that the Jade Pure sect's founder, Li Qingzi, is also a nascent soul realm cultivator, though he has been missing for years. This revelation makes him realize that even Fairy Shixian, the strongest cultivator he knows, isn't the only one of her kind. He concludes that he shouldn't worry about the world, but rather focus on improving his own strength, cultivating diligently and discreetly. Hanju ponders the system's offer to become a core disciple, a path promising immense power and a peak-grade spiritual weapon, but one that would also make him a target for all other intersect disciples and risk offending Fairy Shixian. He wonders if striving for such recognition is truly a good thing. Musing on his master's peculiar nature. As time passes, 3 years later, he reflects on the need to learn how to fly on a sword, acknowledging that he can't keep asking for help and must eventually descend the peak. With renewed determination, he begins to study a manual on sword flight, immersing himself in its teachings. Soon, he is soaring through the sky on his sword, a testament to his innate talent, yet he resolves not to flaunt his abilities like other prodigies. Maintaining his quiet pursuit of strength, Hanju, poised on his sword, addresses his master, Chang Yuer, who reassures him of her unwavering support in his cultivation, yet he hesitates, admitting a particular difficulty. Kneeling respectfully before her, he reveals that his wind and fire spirit roots have reached their peak, expressing his hope that she can now guide him in cultivating his thunder spirit root. Chang Yuer gazes down, questioning his intent to cultivate the thunder spirit root, and he confirms, quickly adding that he isn't attempting to master 6 paths simultaneously. With a resolute expression, she delivers a stark refusal. His eyes widen, the unexpected words striking him with profound shock. A wise figure warns that specializing in spiritual roots is incredibly difficult, and the longer one cultivates in mystic realms, the stronger the enemies they will encounter. Hanju considers her words, acknowledging that possessing the best spiritual roots comes with its own cost, but internally resolves to find his own unique way forward. He declares his understanding, asserting his belief that with his unwavering determination, he can succeed. With a fierce commitment, he vows to dedicate all his time to cultivation. Fairy Shishuan then instructs him to use the inner formation leading to the 6 paths of reincarnation, and he gratefully accepts her guidance, ready to embark on his journey. Within the ethereal depths of the 6 paths of reincarnation, a massive, crystalline formation pulsed with an otherworldly light, its intricate structure hinting at profound mysteries. As he stepped into its aura, Hanju felt the immense pressure of the spiritual energy, a sensation far beyond anything he had encountered before. He knew this was a place of immense opportunity, but also of great danger, a realm where the very fabric of existence seemed to shift and reform. Suddenly, a gnarled, ancient face, resembling a wise old tree, materialized before him, its eyes glowing with an inner light, a tree spirit, guardian of this sacred space. The spirit's presence was overwhelming, yet not hostile, and Hanju braced himself for whatever wisdom or challenge it might present. The tree spirit's voice resonated, ancient and deep, asking what he sought from this place, what ambition drove him to such a profound realm. It explained that the 6 paths of reincarnation was not merely a formation, but a living entity, a tree spirit itself, capable of nurturing those who cultivated within its embrace. Cultivating here, it promised, would double his spiritual power, a boon that could accelerate his journey beyond imagination. Hanju listened intently, his mind racing with the implications of such an opportunity, understanding that this was a chance to truly forge his own path and reach unprecedented heights in his cultivation. He finds himself adrift in a dark, ethereal space, his mind reeling with confusion. What is this place, and how did he arrive here? He was just within the sect's formation, yet now he feels utterly lost. 2 years later, his appearance has changed, his hair now pulled back, and a wry smile plays on his lips as he admits, "All right, I take back what I said. This person." Lightning crackles around him, a testament to the immense power he's channeling, and he exclaims, "This is insane. This day has finally come." The path of cultivation is truly arduous, he muses, knowing he must strive for more. His master once told him cultivation shouldn't be too difficult, a sentiment he now understands was far from the truth. As a swirling vortex of energy forms before him, the method to doubling spiritual power, he whispers, "This is the ancient tree spirit, guardian of the Thunder Foundation through 6 Foundation reincarnation," observes him, its gnarled face expressing surprise. "What the hell is this? How am I supposed to cultivate?" Hanju questions the spirit, asking, "What do you mean by that?" The tree spirit explains that he isn't supposed to be able to cultivate, but the 6 paths of reincarnation spirit pool will actually activate his spirit root, doubling his power. The spirit continues, noting that he can't be the one to cultivate, as he has no spirit root, and warns him to leave this place to prevent suffering for no reason. A powerful surge of purple energy radiates from the formation, its raw power palpable. Amidst a maelstrom of crackling purple and blue lightning, Hanju continues his arduous cultivation within the 6 paths of reincarnation formation, his form a silhouette against the raw power. As his efforts intensify, a brilliant yellow aura erupts around him, causing the tree spirit to exclaim in surprise at the sheer force emanating from the young cultivator. With his eyes closed in deep concentration, Hanju pushes through the tribulation, and the tree spirit offers a crucial intervention, explaining that it will transform into pure energy to aid his advancement into the foundation establishment. The spirit's essence begins to shift, coalescing into a vast, shadowy form of swirling purple and blue energy. The ethereal mass brightens, pulsating with vibrant white and purple hues as it ascends. Reaching a crescendo of power, the energy explodes in a dynamic display of intense red and blue light. Witnessing the profound transformation, the tree spirit, still manifesting as abstract energy, can only wonder aloud at the extraordinary cultivation method Hanju employs. Though still unsure of the specifics, the tree spirit confirms Hanju's success in reaching the foundation establishment, marveling at the astonishing speed of his breakthrough. 2 years later, in a serene setting of traditional architecture, Xing Hongxian stands on a balcony, gazing into the distance. She muses on Hanju's promise to return after becoming a gold core cultivator, a promise that now feels like many years ago, before offering a soft, "You're welcome." Hanju walks through a bustling street, his new cultivator robes flowing around him, a subtle change from his previous attire. He pauses, a system screen materializing before him, confirming his advancement to the Foundation Establishment Realm Level 1, with peerless talent and luck, and a lifespan now extended to 1,000 years. A sigh of relief escapes him as he realizes the sheer magnitude of his progress. Later, he finds himself conversing with a tall, white-haired man, who expresses concern. You've only been cultivating for a few decades, yet you've already reached the Foundation Establishment Realm? The man's brow furrows, his voice laced with disbelief. This speed is simply too fast. Are you sure you haven't damaged your foundation? Mo Roan continues, his gaze sharp. A disciple from Heavenly Thunder Peak with your talent joining the Jade Pure sect is truly a waste. What do you think, becoming a disciple of the Heavenly Thunder Peak's Grand Elder? Hanju shakes his head gently. I've already acknowledged Fairy Shixian as my master. She will forever be my guardian. How could I abandon her so easily? Thank you for your kindness, Brother Mo. Mo Roan considers his words, a thoughtful expression on his face. All right then, there's still time to think about it carefully. As the conversation concludes, a faint, ethereal glow emanates from Hanju's eye, a silent testament to the hidden depths of his power. A striking figure with long, white hair and piercing red eyes gazes forward. While elsewhere, a woman with wavy red-brown hair searches a dense forest, two hooded figures barely visible behind her, muttering, "Huh? The slowest one among them will be my first meal." Her expression shifts to one of growing concern, wondering where he could have gone, regretting leaving the carriage, and fearing the severe punishment from her senior brother if she fails to retrieve the Spirit Stone. She recalls the greatest regret of her life, the theft of something precious, her thoughts drifting to her love, Hanju. Suddenly, a rustling sound erupts from the bushes, and a pair of glowing red eyes pierce the darkness, prompting Hanju to move with incredible speed, a blur of motion through the air. He finds himself confronted by a stark warning. Stop right there. The Heavenly Emperor's daughter is not someone you can touch. She has managed to escape by luck. A system notification then flashes before his eyes, revealing that his good friend, Xing Hongxian, is being hunted down by her fellow sect members, likely to be contradicted, having betrayed the viridescent nether cult, and that her favorable impression of him has increased by 1 star. The message concludes with a surprising detail. We haven't met for many years, so she's still alive. Covering his face in disbelief, Hanju questions the information, wondering why she's being hunted and what's wrong with her fate, especially since they haven't even seen each other. Back with Hanju, a series of soft bells chime, signaling a new notification. The gentle ding, ding, ding echoes across a serene landscape of distant pagodas and mountains, carrying a sense of peaceful anticipation. Hanju, startled by the persistent sound, wonders if something has happened, just as a familiar voice calls out. Junior brother, long time no see. Recognizing Chang Yuer, he agrees that it has been too long, and they decide to meet their master together. He considers the system's message, a fleeting image of Xing Hongxian appearing in his mind, as he reflects on his own cultivation progress. His junior sister, Chang Yuer, stands before him, her expression a mix of awe and disbelief, as she exclaims, "You've reached the 2nd level of Foundation Establishment. I'm just lucky to have you as my senior brother." She continues, her voice filled with admiration. "No way. I need to hurry up and cultivate. I can't let my senior brother leave me behind." Hanju, meanwhile, is still processing the system's notification about Xing Hongshuan's favorability, a faint image of her once again flashing in his thoughts, while Yuer laments her own slow progress, wishing she could catch up to him. He gently reassures her, "There's no need to lose face, Yuer. You're already doing well." Suddenly, a resonant bell tolls, its sound echoing through the air. The bell's ringing signifies a master's summons, calling all disciples to gather. Yuer, her eyes wide, expresses her gratitude. "Thank you for telling me, senior sister. These years, this junior sister has been busy with cultivation and hasn't been able to visit you before." She then adds, a hint of concern in her voice, "Summoning all the disciples? I hope it's not something troublesome." The disciples begin to gather in a grand hall, its towering pillars and intricate carvings speaking of ancient power, as the master prepares to address them. 2 cultivators complain about the heavenly cult's arrogance, one noting that they always come out to train, making them seem super arrogant. Meanwhile, Xing Hongxian observes a group of cultivators from above, wondering when a certain junior sister became so serene, a change she had never noticed before. She muses about potentially breaking Jade Serene Peak's prohibition on love, guessing that the junior sister is the only one who dares to act against her. Elsewhere, a man with glasses introduces himself as Lu Sanjin, Jade Serene's first disciple, explaining that he handles all peak matters since the master cultivates in seclusion, and inviting any junior brothers needing help to find him. Hanju and Chang Yuer bow in gratitude, and Lu Sanjin dismisses their thanks with a casual, "No worries." Xing Hongshuan's thoughts return to the Jade Master, reflecting on his kindness towards disciples and his reputation as the most powerful cultivator in the entire Jade Serene sect, which has always been the strongest against the Jade Pure sect. She anticipates that this time, the sect master will have to counterattack. She scoffs at the idea of trashy ranks being sent to roll or be the enemy, confident that she won't have to worry about guardianship anymore. She concludes that while she isn't worried about the heavenly cult, the Jade Pure sect will surely have a fight against them. Lu Sanjin, the first disciple of Jade Serene Peak, addresses the assembled cultivators, explaining that the sex selection process is not about choosing the most talented, but rather the most suitable. He pauses, adjusting his glasses, then asks the group to consider who they would choose. Meanwhile, Xing Hongxian, her long, wavy silver hair cascading around her, observes the proceedings, her sharp eyes narrowed in thought as the question of selection hangs in the air. A narration box highlights Hanju, noting that he has only been at the peak for a few years, yet has already reached the third level of the foundation establishment realm, a feat that would typically mark him as a genius. Lu Sanjin continues, clarifying that the sex selection criteria are not about raw talent alone, but about finding those who can truly contribute to the sect's future. He explains that many disciples, despite their initial promise, often fail to live up to expectations, becoming complacent or arrogant, while others, though seemingly ordinary, persevere and achieve greatness. He then calls out, his voice echoing across the courtyard, "Master!" Lu Sanjin expresses his gratitude to the master for allowing him to cultivate quietly, and for giving him the opportunity to guide his junior brothers and sisters. Xing Hongshuan's gaze remains fixed, her thoughts turning to the master, who she believes is far more powerful than the heavenly cult spy, and she resolves to improve herself, knowing that only then can she truly protect him. She considers the implications of the situation. As a nervous official, wiping away tears, urges Lu Sanjin to proceed with caution, reminding him of his position as Jade Serene Peak's first disciple and to avoid any trouble. Lu Sanjin bows deeply, affirming his understanding, while the official ponders the protagonist's mysterious refusal of a valuable opportunity, finding his motives hard to guess. A soft smile graces Hanju's face as he gazes upwards, a sense of contentment washing over him. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Xing Hongxian looks on with a concerned expression, her gaze fixed on Chang Yuer. Back with Hanju, Lu Sanjin offers a word of encouragement, saying, "I wish you success, senior brother." A system notification appears, confirming that Lu Sanjin has generated a favorable impression. Xing Hongxian, still observing Chang Yuer, continues, "But if I can leave the junior brother to my care, I'll gladly take him on. Otherwise, I'll just get going first." Lu Sanjin, with a thoughtful expression, then adds, "Good luck, junior brother." Xing Hongxian turns to Chang Yuer, asking, "Do you want me to leave him?" Chang Yuer, looking away with a blush, responds, "Well, it's okay to have him around in the sect, but it's not like I'm going to cultivate with him. I've no need for love stories." A younger Hanju floats above his older self, both beaming with contentment, as the latter declares his joy at finally experiencing some good fortune. Yet, his expression quickly shifts to one of frustration. Fairy Xishuan, listening intently. She remains persistent, however, asking. Meanwhile, Li Qingzi observes the young cultivator from afar. 10 years later, Hanju stands before a system screen, his patience wearing thin as he addresses an unseen entity. The ancient tree spirit, its gnarled face etched with wisdom. Hanju, sitting beneath the spirit's branches with an annoyed expression, retorts that no one can be absolutely certain about anything. As Hanju reviews his system notifications, he sees a message wishing him luck on the third level of formation establishment. He needs only the minimal amount of spiritual energy to cultivate and improve his talent. Suddenly, a voice calls out, "Long time no see. You're still the one behind me, Brother Han. You're also here." The speaker, Mo Rong, then introduces a woman beside him. "Let me introduce this disciple from the Jade Pure sect, Xing Hongxian." She greets him with a dismissive humph. Xing Hongxian questions why he's still at the 9th level of formation establishment, wondering if he's been doing it steadily. Mo Rong declares he'll start cultivating first, as staying still costs quite a bit of spiritual stones, while Xing Hongxian adds that he should let them leave him behind and cultivate together. She thinks he's a genius, and her eye would be capable, but now there isn't even a bit of improvement. Xing Hongxian continues, stating that on the other hand, she's about to break through 2 levels, which is quite an impressive feat, then urges her companion to look. Mo Rong observes Hanju, who is now surrounded by a vibrant purple aura, noting that his speed is increasing. He exclaims that the speed of his spiritual energy is faster than his own, finding it impossible, as he's already at the 9th level of the Golden Core realm. He continues to cultivate, his body a conduit for the surging spiritual energy that swirls around him, a purple aura intensifying with each passing moment. Watching his progress, Mo Rong remarks on the technique's unusual nature, wondering if it's a method to suppress his cultivation, while Xing Hongxian notes the rapid absorption is likely due to his spiritual roots. Mo Rong, however, expresses concern that his own cultivation has already been surpassed, a fact he can hardly believe. He can only stare, his expression a mix of disbelief and apprehension, as the realization dawns on him that the young man's talent is far beyond what he initially perceived. Meanwhile, a system notification confirms his exceptional talent, revealing a unique physique for cultivation and an incredibly high favorability rating, a testament to his remarkable potential. 8 years later, the cultivation continues, his Thunder Spirit root now reaching the 9th level, a significant milestone in his journey. Now a recognized master, he receives a teleportation form from an attendant, who explains the need for his signature to collect their salary, admitting their fear of being caught if they return alone. A wise, ancient voice addresses him, acknowledging his unique physique and remarkable cultivation, then offers an opportunity to gain many merits, asking if he is interested. He ponders the offer, questioning its potential danger, to which the spirit sagely replies that fortune is often accompanied by risks. Considering the implications, he begins to respond, but the spirit urges him not to leave, eager for his decision. Hanju stands amidst scattered papers, a thoughtful expression on his face as he considers the concept of opportunity. He reflects on how every so-called opportunity he's encountered has only brought him trouble, making him wish for a quiet life of cultivation. Meanwhile, in another part of the sect, Xing Hongxian addresses a small crowd, her voice carrying a hint of exasperation. "Who is that person? I've never seen him before," someone whispers, while another adds, "I've seen him around, but he's always been with his master." Back with Hanju, a flicker of annoyance crosses his features. As Xing Hongxian continues, now speaking to Mo Rong, her frustration evident. "It's too much trouble. I've been rejected every time I've tried to see him." She turns, her gaze now fixed on Hanju. "Brother Han, I found a great opportunity, but I need your help." The word hangs in the air, and Hanju's face contorts in a silent scream of dread. Opportunity again, he thinks, the very idea filling him with despair. A woman with vibrant pink hair, styled into playful buns resembling cat ears, stands with her back to the viewer, her form-fitting dress accentuating her figure. Turning to face him, her pink eyes sparkling with enthusiasm, she insists this is a great opportunity, certain he'll become stronger, but Hanju's response is curt. Ignoring his disinterest, she embraces him tightly, whispering that proper cultivation could grant him a life longer than a dream. He tries to pull away, a hint of exasperation in his voice, suggesting there must be some mistake, while she pleads with him to spare himself from leaving. With a resigned sigh, Hanju apologizes, stating his need to return to cultivation. Her expression shifts to one of confusion and hurt, reminding him of a past promise to be her husband. Walking away without looking back, he firmly denies her claim, telling her not to follow him. Two female cultivators, one with white hair and the other with green, walk along a path, discussing a male cultivator who had just passed by. They hurry along, eager to join the intersect competition, as the white-haired woman remarks, "More people are joining, so we'll be late." The green-haired woman agrees, sharing the same thought, as the words intersect competition echo in the air. Meanwhile, deep within a cultivation cave, Hanju looks distressed, having just emerged from his cultivation, only to be immediately forced into this very competition. He bows respectfully before a figure, announcing, "Disciple Hanju greets the master." Standing before his master, he expresses his disinterest, stating he has no desire to participate in the intersect competition. The master, a woman with flowing white hair and piercing red eyes, explains, "You're not qualified for the intersect otherwise. The competition is your only way to join me." Hanju turns away, reiterating his stance, "I'm not interested in the intersect competition." But the master insists, her voice firm, as a system notification appears before Hanju, offering a mission to join the competition with rewards of 100 spirit stones and 1,000 years of cultivation. She declares, "Good, I'll help you get a spot." Still, Hanju looks away, maintaining his preference for solitary cultivation, while the master eagerly urges him to join her in the intersect. A stern-faced elder, with a flowing white beard and hair tied in a top knot, gazes intently. His dark green robes, adorned with subtle patterns, hint at his status. While Hanju, with a comically exaggerated expression of distress, seems to be having a very bad day. He kneels before the elder, who asks with a hint of suspicion, "Master, why are there fallen leaves indoors?" The elder's words echo through a grand, multi-tiered pagoda, as if calling out to the very structure itself. "Elder Iron, Hanju." Hanju, still kneeling, looks up with wide, swirling eyes, as the elder's voice continues, "Do the two of you know each other?" Elder Iron's gaze is piercing, and Hanju's expression shifts to one of mild confusion, muttering, "It's more than just knowing." The elder's brow furrows, his voice firm as he presses for an answer. "Hanju, you can't be rude to senior brother Mo." Still reeling from the accusation, Hanju listens as Elder Iron continues to scold him, declaring that he wouldn't even dare to be rude to senior brother Mo, an intersect disciple. The elder's gaze sharpens, a hint of pride in his voice as he reflects on Hanju's aptitude, one he himself had discovered. His stern expression unwavering. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Xing Hongshuan's eyes glow with a faint red light, her thoughts drifting to senior brother Mo and Hanju's demon, wondering if he harbors any funny thoughts about the situation. Back with Hanju, a chibi version of him appears, sighing, thanking his senior sister for the reminder, and lamenting how truly magical this world is. Suddenly, Master Whitehair's voice cuts through the air, her expression serious as she announces she has something important to discuss. She assigns him a daunting mission, to guard the J Pure Sect's 10,000 demon realm. Hanju's chibi form reappears, vehemently protesting, declaring the realm brings bad luck and begging to return to his cave to cultivate, confessing his fear of death, danger, and everything in the world. Master Whitehair, seemingly unperturbed by his dramatic refusal, calmly asks what's wrong with him, then offers an equally terrifying alternative. If he won't go to the 10,000 demon realm, He can go to the 9 heavens and 10 earths instead. He didn't even get a chance to reject the mission, his inner turmoil manifesting as a dark, glowing aura around his eyes. It wasn't just a simple mission, he knew, so he couldn't afford to slack off. Meanwhile, the master, observing his reaction, calmly stated that he needed to make arrangements, adding that if he was ready, he would be sent to the 10,000 demon realm. A junior brother, Mo Rome, called out, urging him to wait so he could help him pack up. But Elder Iron, ever the pragmatist, interjected, saying he didn't want to fuss about his past with Hanju, reminding Mo Rome that they were both junior and senior brothers, and having a good relationship with him would only benefit them. As long as it wasn't a matter of life and death, it was better to remain civil. Back with the master, she continued, explaining that with her understanding of his character, she wouldn't force anything upon him. Instead, in the future, Hanju would serve as Jade Serene Peak's core disciple. Her gaze was steady, a hint of something unreadable in her red eyes. Elder Iron, however, was visibly enraged by this development, his face contorted in a furious scowl. His eyes narrowed, a vein throbbing in his temple. He thought to himself, that brat did deserve it. In a memory, a younger Hanju looks up at Elder Iron, addressing him as Junior Brother Iron, while the elder simply offers a silent, knowing gaze. The vast expanse of the 10,000 Doran realm stretches out, a world of towering mountains and mystical energy. And within it, a serene cultivation building stands nestled among ancient trees, marking the passage of half a year since his arrival. Lying on his bed, Hanju sighs, finding the effort to cultivate even a single root tedious, and decides to consult his system for something more engaging. As a glowing blue interface materializes before him, he notices a new notification. The Relationship tab has been updated. The system reveals a new entry for Emoju, whose favorability stands at 1 star, along with a troubling message. His good friend, Emoju, was attacked by a fiendish cultivator and almost seriously injured. Stretching contentedly, Hanju feels a surge of good fortune and resolves to begin his training anew. In a memory from his early days, within the Jade Pure sect, a place good for cultivation yet not without its distractions, Hanju often found himself bothered by his master's disciple, Xing Hongxian. She would playfully ask, Hanju, you're always cultivating. Don't you want to go out and play? His thoughts then snap back to the present, a look of surprise crossing his face. As he observes a small, fluffy creature perched on a branch, thinking to himself, ah, kitty, the beasts of the 10,000 Doran realm don't look dangerous at all. Yet, a nagging thought from his master echoes in his mind, that the 10,000 Doran realm was fraught with peril, making him question the seemingly harmless divine pet before him, wondering, how can this be? Suddenly, a surge of vibrant purple energy erupts from the creature, its form rapidly shifting and expanding within the swirling magical aura. As the small kitty transforms into a colossal, fearsome beast, its glowing eyes fixed on him. The monstrous visage now fully revealed. A terrifying, tiger-like entity radiating immense power and enveloped in a brilliant, crackling purple glow. He breathes a sigh of relief, having finally mastered the 7 illusionary steps just as the enemy was about to evade him. A strange thought crosses his mind, wondering why the forbidden spells cast on the pavilion had been so powerful the first time they appeared. As purple energy swirls around him, he prepares for the next phase of his attack. His gaze sharpens, observing the unfolding situation. With a dynamic leap, he questions if this truly is the 7 illusionary steps, marveling at its immense power. The 7 illusionary spells allow for the creation of 1 additional shadow clone with each level, culminating in a peak of 7 clones at the 7th level. These shadow clones, now manifesting around him, not only manipulate one's spirit, but can also baffle the enemy. He realizes the beast, previously a low-level spirit, has now fused and transformed into a mid-level spirit beast, matching his own cultivation level, as he and his clones launch their coordinated assault. His clones echo his thoughts, confirming their need to cooperate, as they strike the monstrous creature. The beast lets out a furious roar, its glowing purple eyes burning with rage. Hanju continued his fierce engagement with the transformed divine pet, its monstrous form radiating raw power. Focusing his intent, he channeled his energy, preparing to unleash an unparalleled sword technique, a strike meant to overwhelm even this mid-level spirit beast. Golden energy erupted from his attack, slamming into the creature with blinding force. But the beast was resilient, its single purple eye flaring with renewed ferocity. And it retaliated with a torrent of swirling, dark energy, forcing him to defend. He met the assault with a glowing hand, deflecting the potent magic. After the intense exchange, he reflected on the battle, realizing that while his clones from the 7 illusionary steps could confuse and baffle enemies, they couldn't inflict real damage on a foe of this caliber. He felt a surge of relief that his attacking skills were still effective, but a new question arose. What forbidden spells had the divine pet used to achieve such a transformation? Standing amidst the desolate, rocky peaks, he knew he had to report this unusual development, especially since such powerful transformations were becoming more frequent. Within the grand hall of the sect, a serious discussion unfolds, with one voice asserting that the matter at hand is suspicious, and that the viridescent nether cult is involved. This prompts a stern command to speak more confidently, as other voices suggest letting elders from other sects handle the mad demons, propose sending more disciples to guard the 10,000 demon realm, and express suspicion of a traitor among them, even questioning the sect master. The venerable old immortal Unset Thunder, a figure of immense authority, listens intently, his gaze sharp. He then turns to Master Whitehair, his junior sister, noting her silence and asking if something is on her mind, his expression unreadable. Master Whitehair, with a calm demeanor, simply replies that she will let them decide on these matters, her eyes closed in contemplation. Old immortal Unset Thunder then questions if she has an idea of what's truly happening, suggesting that there are hidden forces at play behind the scenes, and asking where the sect master brought the divine pet. Master Whitehair responds with a grave tone, stating that if there truly is a traitor among them, the only person she can trust is him, and that they will have to work together. A slight smile plays on old immortal Unset Thunder's lips as he agrees, acknowledging that they are indeed of the same master. The sect meeting concludes with a directive to dispatch more disciples to the 1,000 demon realm. And 2 years later, a lone figure continues his rigorous cultivation within a powerful formation. Hanju stands amidst the desolate, rocky expanse of the forbidding demon realm, a place perfectly suited for both patrolling and intense cultivation due to its unique spell. He reflects on his progress, having reached the 6th level of the forbidding demon realm, and muses that as long as he remains within the sect, he doesn't need to worry about the golden core realm, finding comfort in his current strength. A fellow cultivator approaches him with urgent news, asking if he'd heard that the viridescent nether cult had already invaded the ground, but Hanju simply dismisses it with a casual, almost indifferent, what else? Meanwhile, a chilling image of a mysterious, sharp-eyed being is depicted on a scroll. In a dark, shadowy void, the very being from the scroll manifests, its eyes glowing with an eerie light, prompting a shocked exclamation from an unseen observer. Back with Hanju, the other cultivator continues, his voice filled with awe and terror, revealing that the mysterious figure is not merely at the golden core realm, but is actually present in the forbidding demon realm. This cultivator is far beyond, a true master above the golden core realm. An elderly man with spectacles, his green robes indicating a cultivator's status, introduces himself, stating he is a disciple of the Jade Pure sect and will look after Hanju for a while. He stands tall, a flask at his hip, his presence calm and reassuring. Hanju listens intently as the elder continues, explaining that he doesn't need to worry about him, questioning if he still thinks he's the same as when he was his master. The elder's expression is firm, a hint of challenge in his gaze, as if testing the younger cultivator's perception. Meanwhile, Master Whitehair looks up, her red eyes sharp with an unknown emotion, while the elderly man simply lets out a surprised, "Oh." The elderly man, his eyes glowing with an intense green light, presses Hanju about his master, asking if he has any missions. He scoffs, dismissing the idea that Hanju would have a master, then challenges him to reveal what he knows about the Jade Pure sect. Hanju, however, remains silent. The elder then offers to guide him, claiming he can help with his master's affairs, his words hinting at a deeper connection to the sect. Hanju, meanwhile, observes a system window that details the elder's information, identifying him as Elder Guan, a master of the Jade Pure sect. The system window also reveals Elder Guan's cultivation level and his past as a master to someone named Master White Dragon, while the elder himself continues to speak, seemingly unaware of Hanju's knowledge. The elder's words confirm his status as a sect master, and his deep admiration for his own master. The scene shifts to a desolate, rocky landscape, where various monstrous beasts, including dragons, fill the sky and ground, a clear indication of impending chaos. Elder Guan explains that these creatures are likely to go berserk, their hearts filled with dragon's blood, making them formidable opponents. He then questions Hanju about his previous actions, specifically asking what he did to Master White Dragon. Elder Guan, his gaze fixed on the young cultivator, addresses him directly, asking if he is the young friend he seeks. As the question hangs in the air, a fleeting vision of two monstrous, distorted figures, their eyes glowing with malevolent red light, flashes through the elder's mind. A memory of their terrifying power. He dismisses the thought, muttering that such creatures don't deserve their attention, before reiterating his question to Hanju. Hanju, looking thoughtful, begins to explain, recounting an incident from 2 years prior. A system notification clarifies the situation. The phenomenon of beasts going berserk after their hearts were consumed was not directly caused by Hanju, but rather by the returning dragon's blood within them, infecting their hearts. He was fortunate to have avoided their trap and infection, or he would have surely perished. Elder Guan, still processing the information, remarks that Hanju would have been dead, then expresses astonishment at the technique he uses, noting that his speed surpasses even his own. Hanju casually identifies it as the wind god's leg, dismissing it as nothing special, but the elder vehemently disagrees, exclaiming that it's a dragon king's technique, far beyond the capabilities of even golden core stage masters within the Jade Pure sect. Shifting the conversation, Elder Guan states their priority is to eliminate the berserk beasts, adding that if Hanju won't help, he'll have to deal with the cause himself. The divine pet cat, perched beside Hanju, interjects, protesting the idea of killing the demon beast, claiming it has great potential, and then asks how they should deal with it instead. As the discussion continues about the berserk beasts, the system provides a clear instruction for Hanju's mission: eliminate the berserk beasts in the vicinity of the Jade Pure sect. Elder Guan, still processing the situation, urges him to go and tame them. He recalls a past incident, a memory of a demon beast that had been difficult to handle, wondering if Hanju truly understands the gravity of the task. Hanju, having received the system's directive to eliminate the beasts and secure the area, politely excuses himself, ready to depart. Elder Guan watches him go, a lingering question in his mind about why a junior would take on such a dangerous mission. He muses on the young man's confidence, acknowledging that Hanju's skills are not to be underestimated, especially after witnessing his wind god's leg technique. Meanwhile, a monstrous, dark-furred beast with piercing purple eyes looms, its presence a clear and present danger. Elder Guan, sensing the beast's power, confirms his suspicions. This demon king is indeed something to be wary of. As the berserk beast unleashes a guttural roar, a wave of dark, chaotic energy erupts from its monstrous form. The air crackles with crimson particles as the beast's attack surges forward. Hanju, facing the onslaught, braces himself, a quiet TSK. That's it. Then, escaping his lips as the red energy washes over him. The chaotic energy continues to swirl, engulfing the immediate area. Later, deep within a verdant forest, Xing Hongxian walks alongside Hanju, her expression etched with concern. She brings a hand to her forehead, her thoughts racing, realizing the tier progression beasts are going berserk and that they must meet up with Hanju quickly. As they continue through the dense foliage, Xing Hongxuan's eyes narrow, sensing a disturbance ahead, and she urges him to wait, for something is happening up ahead. Xing Hongxuan's eyes widen in shock, a soft gasp escaping her lips as she begins to question the nature of the destruction before them. While Hanju, observing the same devastation, wonders aloud if the berserk beasts are responsible for this. Yet, the clean, precise cuts through the massive tree stumps suggest something far more deliberate and powerful, hinting at an unparalleled sword technique. A voice from off-panel asks if he has seen his junior brother, then instructs someone to welcome him. As a new figure steps forward, he introduces himself, saying, "My name is Meng He. Nice to meet you, Hanju." Hanju returns the greeting warmly. Meng He then explains that their master, having learned of his disaster star fate, sent him to the Jade Pure sect to become a junior brother and help him. He wonders aloud how Hanju could possibly know about his situation. Hanju, with a slight smile, admits that he has too many burdens surrounding him, and expresses his relief that Meng He has come to help. Meng He, however, corrects him, stating that it seems the Heavenly Emperor sent him to be Hanju's background, before clarifying that he is, in fact, the one who will be his true support, and he has no intention of leaving. Inside a quiet chamber, a steaming teapot and delicate cups sit ready, awaiting further conversation. As the discussion continues, Meng He explains that he was sent to assist Hanju because their master had heard of spies infiltrating the 10,000 Swords sect, urging caution. Hanju listens intently, his thoughts turning to the sect master, who seems to be paying an unusual amount of attention to him. He considers the current state of affairs a precarious peace that has lasted for 10,000 years, now seemingly on the verge of shattering. Meng He then reveals a new concern, asking if Hanju had heard about the senior brother who went missing from their mountain. Hanju's expression hardens, realizing the sect master's actions are likely a test for him. He clenches his fist, a surge of determination filling him as he acknowledges the gravity of the situation. Meanwhile, outside the quiet residence, a demonic beast, at least in the Golden Core realm, has attacked a senior brother. Meng He confirms the attack, explaining that a group of disciples had gone to investigate, only to find the senior brother severely injured and spitting blood, barely clinging to life. Xing Hongxian reflects on the precarious situation, noting that even after their long tenure, a senior brother has already fallen victim to a demonic beast, making their current assignment dangerously unstable. She muses that this must be why Hanju, despite his long time in the sect, remains so weak and eager to leave. Her thoughts are interrupted by a sudden realization, as she senses a presence surrounding their tent, confirming her growing unease. The threat isn't just nearby, it's directly upon them. Her expression hardens with resolve, preparing for the inevitable confrontation. Hanju, now by her side, observes the overwhelming horde of beasts outside, acknowledging that the two of them alone might not be enough to hold them back. He turns to her, a hint of confusion in his voice, asking why they aren't simply retreating. Xing Hongxian, resolute in her duty, reminds him that this territory falls under their sect's jurisdiction, and abandoning their post without permission would be a dereliction of their responsibilities. A mischievous grin spreads across Hanju's face as he suggests she stay behind and wait for him to perform his heroic deeds, promising to report her bravery to their master. As the demonic horde closed in, Hanju's thoughts turned to their precarious position. He knew they each had an area to manage, but holding out against such a wave of beasts would be impossible. Where there's life, there's hope, he mused. We need to move quickly, right now. Before he could act, a torrent of crimson energy erupted from the approaching horde, streaking towards them with devastating speed. As countless monstrous forms, their eyes glowing with malevolent red light, surged forward in a terrifying, unified charge. Yet, Xing Hongxian remained unyielding, her gaze firm as she declared, "It looks like you're going to be deceived by your own eyes, Hanju." With a swift, decisive motion, she plunged a glowing staff into the earth, its light flaring outwards in a protective burst. But the threat was not merely a faceless horde. Among them was a formidable beast, its fanged maw open in a roar, crowned with a distinctive golden horn. And then, a massive, dark, bird-like creature, its eyes burning red, descended from above, prompting Hanju to exclaim, "It's a demonic beast. Let's go look really." Without another word, he scooped up the surprised Xing Hongxian, blurring into motion as he carried her away from the immediate danger. A sharp gasp escapes Xing Hongxian as she looks up, her eyes wide with disbelief. "Suit, that coward left us behind and ran by himself?" Her gaze snaps higher, then narrows as she counts the approaching figures. "J Jr., above us. There are 6 or 7 of them." Indeed, the two cultivators stand back to back, a growing swarm of dark, winged creatures circling above them, closing in from all sides. Xing Hongxuan's hand glows with a fierce red energy, a desperate attempt to conjure a defense against the overwhelming numbers. The crimson aura flares, taking on a blade-like form, but her face contorts in despair. "We're done for." But Hanju, observing the encroaching threat, remains calm, his eyes fixed on the sky. With a swift motion, he manifests a sword of pure purple energy, its ethereal blade humming with power. This is the 3 pure shadow sword technique, a formidable skill he acquired after refusing the sect master's offer, allowing him to duplicate his sword into shadows, each with a different attribute, becoming stronger and more dominating as he continuously uses his spirit energy. Now, with a surge of purple light, 3 spectral blades shimmer into existence around him, ready to carve through the horde. He unleashes the 3 pure shadow sword technique, a brilliant yellow-green energy blade manifesting from his hand, ready to cleave through the encroaching horde. His amber eyes glow with fierce determination, the blade extending with his focused intent. With a powerful sweep, the energy expands outward, a devastating cut, tearing through the air. The destructive force continues to spread, a vibrant wave of red and purple energy, another resounding cut, echoing through the battlefield. A young woman's eyes widen in disbelief, the memory of a powerful figure flashing through her mind. Could that truly have been her junior brother? She recalls the encounter, a sense of inadequacy washing over her, for even with her own eyes, she couldn't clearly perceive the strength of junior brother Han. Meanwhile, Hanju moves with devastating speed, a brilliant blue-purple aura flaring around him as he carves through a horde of shadowy figures, each strike dissolving them into wisps of dark energy. His expression remains cold and resolute, a stark contrast to the man she thought she knew, and the woman finds herself unable to forget that chilling gaze. Despite the unsettling change, a blush creeps onto her cheeks as she admits to herself, he is undeniably strong and handsome. The task at hand, it seems, is almost complete. Meng He beams, delighted with his successful harvest, noting the abundance of valuables and spirit stones he's collected from the mountain. As he and Xing Hongxian prepare to depart, he confidently declares his lack of fear, trusting in their master's protection, while she expresses concern over leaving the master's 7th-grade spirit root behind. Their path leads them to a massive, intricate structure, the 10,000 Demon Realms teleportation formation, glowing with arcane energy. Suddenly, a voice from off-panel expresses shock, questioning if the junior brother and junior sister are still alive, leaving Meng He visibly startled. A moment later, a sharp impact sends him reeling, blood splattering across his chest as he falls. Xing Hongxian stands over his prone form, a sheepish apology escaping her lips. From the ground, Meng He looks up, bewildered, demanding to know why his junior sister pulled him into such a painful predicament. The unexpected turn of events leaves him pondering, a thought he never anticipated. Despite the rough landing, a wave of immense relief washes over him, overjoyed that his spirit root remains intact and he's still alive, even after such a perilous fall. Hanju sits contentedly, a large sack of spirit stones clutched in his hands, musing on how easily others fell for his ruse and how much he's gained from it. Meanwhile, Xing Hongxian looks up with a worried expression, chastising him for his carelessness, which almost exposed them, and noting that his junior brother had to clean up his mess. Still reeling from the teleportation, Meng He cries out in pain, though he quickly reassures himself that he's all right. Back in his own space, Hanju decides it's best to remain quiet and continue cultivating, feeling his strength has significantly increased since his last visit to the 10,000 Demon Realm. Approaching a grand building, he is greeted by a disciple who questions his unexpected return. Hanju looks down, explaining that he has collected many spirit stones from the 10,000 Demon Realm over 100 years. A white-haired woman gasps in surprise, while Hanju's gaze remains fixed downwards. She then shouts, vehemently defending her junior brother, insisting that the current situation has nothing to do with him. Elsewhere, a bruised and stitched Meng He laments their narrow escape, the beating they took from the beasts, and his near-death experience. A white-haired disciple stands firm, explaining that while Meng He ultimately saved her, he was too weak to hold back their attackers, Yet having someone capable of relaying information is better than losing both. Hanju listens, a flicker of frustration crossing his face as he begins to protest this, but the disciple cuts him off, asserting that Meng He broke no rules, only defending himself, and declares that both he and Meng He are free to leave first. Meng He, still visibly injured, agrees with a weak yes, while Hanju, looking at the disciple, questions, "What is the matter up to?" He covers his face, a wave of disbelief washing over him. "Don't tell me you're going to settle it alone with me." The white-haired disciple calmly quotes a master elder. "When you know it, it's too late," then addresses Hanju directly, urging him to abandon his ambition. Meng He, kneeling in distress, cries out his ultimate goal. It's to attain immortality. Hanju's face remains shadowed, his thoughts turning inward, acknowledging that even constant seclusion won't lead to immortality without opportunity. As the disciple's words echo in his mind, like a sharp arrow aimed at his very core, Hanju's eyes begin to glow with a fierce red light, the question of how one can truly understand the Tao without experiencing the world burning within him. A white-haired woman explains that a certain master had arranged an opportunity for Meng He, one that could have greatly advanced his cultivation. But he had unfortunately given up on it. Pinching the bridge of her nose, she elaborates that cultivation relies on three elements: technique, spiritual qi, and opportunity. She then offers to help him create his own spiritual qi and opportunity, clarifying that beyond tribulations, spiritual qi also encompasses various types of spiritual energy. Meng He, his brow furrowed, asks where this opportunity might be found, to which the woman replies that it is somewhere nearby. She continues, suggesting that if he can seize it, or secure an important position in the inner sect, it could lead to significant advancement. Meng He expresses concern about the inner sect, questioning the necessity of fighting and how he would manage it. The woman challenges his apprehension, warning that if he doesn't go, he will lose his life. Looking down at a map, Meng He asks if participants from the establishment realm or above will be present, but the woman dismisses the idea of Golden Core realm cultivators being common. She clarifies that anyone in the Golden Core realm is either a core elder or a dragon, and Meng He confirms his understanding. His decision made, he proclaims, then it's settled. A man with a sharp, knowing smirk expresses his gratitude, his voice laced with satisfaction as he anticipates the benefits of a Khanate cave abode and its spiritual pool. Meanwhile, the white-haired woman, observing from afar, lets out a small huff, finding the young man surprisingly easy to manage. Overlooking a sprawling city, Hanju stands in quiet contemplation. Later, before a grand, ornate gate, he wonders aloud, "Boss, are you not giving me the most powerful and handsomest cultivation method?" His junior brother, Meng He, explains the plight of a powerful figure. According to the ancient records, the immortal emperor had the same fate. He was also rejected by the heavenly Tao and couldn't get out of the heavenly realm. It's too bad. We can't help him. Hanju then offers his own wisdom. "I'll do all I can to help you, but you must not be greedy. You must be content with what you have. That's the way of cultivation." He muses that the heavenly Tao may have already been reborn, better than before. Observing two distant figures, he dismisses them as vulgar, lacking understanding of the true path of cultivation, before deciding it's time to move on. Next, a blinding flash of light envelopes him, transporting him to a desolate, rocky landscape dotted with strange, bulbous plants. He considers his path, knowing he must ensure all 6 types of his spiritual roots reach the 7th level before the inner assessment. His brow furrows slightly in thought, the weight of his cultivation goals pressing upon him. Meanwhile, in a bustling courtyard, a group of cultivators mock a young man named Zhao Sun, one of them loudly proclaiming his own ambition to become the sect's first elder. Another taunts Zhao Sun about his meager spirit root, suggesting he might only impress them by begging. The bullying continues, with one cultivator mentioning that Sister Lu will soon marry, implying Zhao Sun will lose a potential ally. Hanju observes the scene, calmly eating a slice of watermelon, as the cultivators discuss taking Zhao Sun out of the sect, asserting that the powerful always cultivate first. Still watching, a system notification suddenly appears before him, its blue light glowing faintly. His eyes widen in surprise as he reads the message, which reveals the detection of a congenital providence. Unaware of Hanju's discovery, the bullies continue to disparage Zhao Sun, calling him trash and questioning his audacity to cause trouble. A sneering figure, his white hair wild and unkempt, grips Zhao Sun by the collar, his words dripping with contempt for the boy's inferior spirit root. His sharp eyes narrow, a cruel smile spreading across his face as he warns, "Watch yourself. The recent fiendish cult has been on the move, and many disciples have gone missing. You'd better pray you don't get caught, or you'll be next." Meanwhile, a young man named Zhou Fan, a prodigious cultivator born into a normal town, whose spiritual roots were affected by the Jade Pure sect, finds himself reflecting on his own past. He possesses a mysterious treasure hidden deep within his soul, a treasure so powerful it is severely guarded because it protects him. Now, to repay his sect, the mysterious treasure unconsciously absorbs the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, allowing him to grow stronger and successfully cultivate. Observing the bullying, Zhou Fan thinks to himself, such innate talent, what a scary thing. The main character in this story, The one who was bullied by me 100 years ago should be familiar. Could it be that he's also someone of providence? He recalls a time when he, too, was a small, helpless child, tied up and mocked, just like the boy he sees now, before dismissing the thought with a firm, "Okay, forget it." Zhou Fan's gaze hardens, his resolve unwavering as he declares, "Cultivation is the utmost important thing. Zhou Fan, you must not believe in your destiny." 8 years later, a determined Zhou Fan stands, ready to begin his training, a system notification confirming his innate potential. Water and Earth Spirit Root, Level 9. Fire, Wood, Metal, Wind Spirit Root, Level 1. As he stands beneath the ancient tree, a familiar voice calls out his name, Zhou Fan. Meanwhile, an older man with stark white hair and dark sunglasses observes the surroundings with a stern expression. Zhou Fan's hand clenches, a silent reaction to the words he's just heard. Turning away, the woman offers a soft apology, telling him he's a nice guy before departing. He watches her go, her figure receding into the distance. Elsewhere, Hanju sighs in exasperation, muttering that focusing on cultivation would save him a lot of headaches. As he holds a small, intricate object, a voice suddenly commands him to hold it. Zhou Fan turns, surprised, as the older man from earlier approaches him, his expression unreadable behind the dark lenses. The older man questions if he is Hanju, to which Hanju, standing nearby, responds, asking what he can do for him. On Thunder Peak, he hears whispers of Zhou Fan, a great cultivator in the making, and knows he must meet him. As a new figure approaches, his eyes narrow, recognizing the familiar stance of an old-school Muxian novel practitioner, who then exclaims, "Brother Mo, look at what you have done." The newcomer stands over the defeated Zhou Fan, while Hanju remains impassive. From the ground, Zhou Fan, still dazed, looks up at Hanju, asking for guidance on how to pursue his sweetheart, having heard of his fighting prowess. Hanju simply looks down at him, as Zhou Fan continues to plead for help. Mo Fanjian then begins to lecture, questioning how cultivators could be trapped by love, insisting that the world would be under their command to maintain the great Tao, and only then could they pursue love. He challenges Hanju, asking what he truly desires, and if he has ever witnessed a woman's true affection. Hanju listens, his expression thoughtful. While Mo Fanjian, unexpectedly, feels his own old heart skip a beat, a blush creeping onto his face. A strange notification flashes across Zhou Fan's mind, revealing a 5-star favorability rating towards someone, a deep liking that feels significant. Suddenly, a sense of unease washes over him, as if something is amiss. Later, standing before a towering bell, he overhears a crucial piece of information. All the disciples have been summoned, likely for a sect assessment. As he walks, a man with short gray hair and glasses approaches, greeting Hanju with a familiar, "Brother Han, it's been a while." The gray-haired man, whom Zhou Fan addresses as senior brother, then turns to him, stating, "This happens to be something I wanted to ask." He continues, "Do you happen to know a girl named Xing Hongxian?" The question catches the senior brother off guard, leaving him to wonder how anyone could possibly know. Meng He, his expression serious, asks, "Do you know a person named Xing Hongxian?" Looking back at him, Hanju replies, "I don't know. Why did you ask me?" Meng He explains that he has been cultivating with the sect master for years and has never met her, adding that the sect recruited him to improve their standing with a better root talent, and that this is also why the sect master agreed to let him train her. He then praises a senior brother for his great fortune, noting that he is the sect master's senior brother, and that neither he nor Hanju can compare to him, while a narration reveals Xing Hongxian was young and impulsive, targeted by the elders of the Jade Pure sect. Meng He elaborates, stating that she was always hated by others, and was looking for an ally to help her escape the Jade Pure sect. Hanju's face contorts in a grimace as he processes the story, realizing that the lady had engaged in a span brother-sister relationship and was forced to abandon her bright future, deviating from the correct path. Meng He explains that after her sect master granted her asylum, Lady Xing had to make a significant contribution to the sect. He continues, adding that she possessed such strong root talent that she became an inspiration to the entire cultivation world. Meng He then clarifies that this was all happening while Hanju was still at the main sect, under the care of his senior sister. He questions if it's merely a coincidence that Lady Xing's talent was discovered just as the sect was looking for a person of exceptional talent. Hanju, hearing this, grimaces, realizing he's picking up on everything. Xing Hongxian, reflecting on her past, admits that since the Hanju Meng he was speaking about was her span brother, she didn't have a choice back then. Meng He, holding her close, reassures her, saying not to worry, that he understands, but he just didn't expect such exceptional talent from her. Xing Hongxian continues to lament her past, recalling how she was forced to abandon her path, and how the Jade Pure sect's elders had targeted her. As the assessment was about to begin, the white-haired figure declared that each peak would send 10 disciples, with only the top 10 among them allowed to enter the inner sect. A cacophony of excited shouts erupted from the gathered crowd, some pleading to be released from the tension. The disciples buzzed with anticipation, each one eager to prove themselves worthy of becoming an inner sect member and a strong cultivator. Meanwhile, Hanju pondered the announcement, wondering if that was truly all, and why there was no mention of the donate Qing Ling or any reward from the master. Despite the general excitement, he decided to blend in and seize the opportunity to remain unremarkable, a strategy he often employed. Another voice from the crowd offered, "I'll leave the rest to you. Anyone else?" Hanju overheard a disciple questioning, "Is the Don going to ride on the coattails of his brother Mo?" He quickly dismissed the thought, knowing that wasn't it. The white-haired figure, Xing Hongxian, declared to a disciple, "It doesn't matter, the high-ranking elders lack responsibility. I'll just count you in." The disciple, overwhelmed, cried out for their master. Finally, the list was finalized, and a voice announced, "Hanju, please stay behind. Others can return now." As the assessment concludes, a disciple voices his impatience, asking why they are still waiting, only to be chided by another, who warns brother Mo about the consequences of failure and being sent back to the outer sect. Meanwhile, Xing Hongxian observes Hanju from behind, remarking that his cultivation seems to have improved, far exceeding her initial expectations. Her gaze sharpens, noting that even with 3 years of cultivation, his true speed is merely at the Jade Pure Sect standard. Hanju, still facing away, humbly attributes his progress to his master, insisting that this matter is the only one of concern. Xing Hongxian, however, dismisses his claim, stating she doesn't recall ever backing him, and points out that his cultivation and sword techniques are clearly not from the Jade Pure Sect's teachings. Her expression turns stern, accusing the elders overseeing him of irresponsibility and Hanju himself of mocking the sect by hiding his true strength right under their noses. Hanju's face shows concern as she continues, emphasizing that someone from the outer sect like him should have been given an opportunity when he was young. Xing Hongxian then softens her tone, assuring him that everyone encounters opportunities and she won't investigate further, having only intended to warn him. Hanju bows deeply, insisting he wouldn't put her in a difficult position and offering to explain his background, expressing gratitude for her consideration. From this day forward, he hears, he will be her personal disciple, a declaration that makes him question if he heard correctly. His eyes widen in disbelief, the weight of the words settling upon him. A system notification confirms his new status, announcing his rise within the Jade Pure Sect as a personal disciple of an elder, and the acquisition of a new magic manual, the 9 Dragons Devil Expelling Seal. Bowing deeply in gratitude, he assures the elder he will strive his utmost not to bring shame upon the sect. With a slight smile, Xing Hongxian presents him with a glowing token, instructing him to keep the elder's token safe. Then, turning away, she dismisses him, handing over the newly acquired manual as she does. A golden light flares around Hanju, signaling the completion of his cultivation, as the system confirms his inheriting 9 Dragons Devil Expelling Soul current progress has reached 100%. The technique, now perfected, is officially recognized as the 9 Dragons Devil Expelling Soul in its perfected realm. He muses on its potential, wondering how it might influence different types of energy, finding the prospect incredibly interesting. Having finally perfected the technique, he ponders the true extent of its power, assuming, given its name, that it must be a formidable method for expelling devils. Suddenly, Mo Rong approaches, his expression serious, asking if Hanju has heard about the upcoming sect assessment. He continues, explaining that the assessment is quite important, and that the sect leader has specifically mentioned that the junior brother's confidence is a bit too high. Mo Rong, startled by his sudden appearance, quickly apologizes before informing him about the sect assessment scheduled for the following day, urging him to follow. As they walk, Mo Rong explains that the master, concerned about Hanju's unfamiliarity with the rules, sent him to clarify, adding that all 18 peaks have established their own assessment areas above the clouds. He continues, detailing how disciples from each peak will engage in knockout duels until only the top 100 remain, who will then proceed to the inter-sect competition, personally overseen by the sect leader. Mo Rong points to a large sign, indicating the assessment area for Tianju Peak, where Hanju's name is listed among the participants. Hanju, observing the scene, asks if this means there won't be many spectators before the top 10 fights. Mo Rong confirms his assumption, and Hanju then expresses his hope that he isn't already considered among the top 10, to which Mo Rong simply replies that he will try his best. Meanwhile, Xing Hongxian offers a heartfelt thank you, urging caution on the return journey. Hanju, lost in thought, muses on his own strength, concluding that he can indeed fight, but reiterates his strong desire to avoid drawing any unnecessary attention. A knowing smile plays on Xing Hongxian's lips, her gaze fixed on Hanju. His hand clenches, a subtle tremor of power radiating from him, as if struggling to contain an immense force. He tries to deflect her scrutiny, insisting she shouldn't babble nonsense. Xing Hongxian, however, remains unconvinced, her expression suggesting she sees right through his facade. She leans in closer, her voice a soft challenge, asking him not to worry about her, and to tell her the truth. His amber eyes widen slightly, a flicker of surprise crossing his face, as her question echoes in his mind. Is it true? Hanju looks away, a hint of annoyance in his features, muttering that he's almost at the 9th level of the Foundation establishment realm. Without another word, Xing Hongxian extends her hand, offering him a small, glowing pill. She explains it's a pure pill, a gift from her family, and urges him to take it to aid his cultivation. Xing Hongxian dismisses his concerns, stating, "That's not the problem." while Hanju tries to reassure her, explaining that he is currently cultivating under Taoist Jiujian, who is a nice person, so she doesn't have to worry. She then addresses him intimately, husband, urging him to work hard in the inner sect assessment. She reflects on how she didn't know he was such a genius back then, while he internally maintains that his aptitude is merely average. She then offers her full support, promising to do her best to help him if he needs anything. As he walks away, a faint red and yellow aura emanates from him, a subtle display of his power. He holds the pure pill, contemplating its significance, wondering if this is some form of causality at play. A vast, empty hall with towering pillars stands silent. Within its solemn expanse, a robed figure, Taoist Jinshu, questions, "Did you give the pure pill to him? Do you regret it?" Xing Hongxian, her expression thoughtful, replies, "I don't. I've already fallen into the trap, heh." Jinshu dismisses her with a nonsense, then probes, "Is it just because he's handsome?" Xing Hongxian playfully asks, "Isn't that enough?" But Jinshu remains unconvinced, stating, "I don't think it's worth it for." Xing Hongxian then reflects on Hanju's past, recalling, "His aptitude is quite average when I met him. He had no cultivation base." She continues, "But I heard from the elders that he's now at the 9th level of the body refinement realm." Pondering his rapid progress, she wonders, would he be able to reach the 9th level of the body refinement realm so quickly? He must have some secret. But he's so careful, he's always been low-key, buried his head in cultivation. Taoist Jinshu, intrigued, remarks, "How interesting," concluding, "I think I need to pay more attention to him." As the conversation concludes, a sharp, amber eye opens, hinting at the subject of their discussion. A voice echoes through a massive arena, expressing disbelief at the sheer number of participants gathered for the inner sect assessment, far exceeding expectations for a mere top 10 rivalry. The vast crowd roars with excitement, as several figures stand poised on a grand, beast-like platform, ready for the trials to begin. At the center of the arena, a large hexagonal platform awaits the cultivators. As the assessment looms, Hanju finds himself facing a system prompt for the Jade Pure Sect inner sect assessment, presenting him with two distinct choices. Either win in a high-profile manner to shock the sect and receive 1,000 superior-grade spirit stones, or keep a low profile and make it to the top 3, reducing the impact to obtain a wondrous treasure. As the Jade Pure Sect's inner sect assessment is about to begin, a series of choices appears before him. He could win in a high-profile manner, shocking the sect and earning 1,000 superior-grade spirit stones, or he could choose to keep a low profile, making it to the top 3 to obtain a numinous treasure. This second option immediately catches his attention, a quiet thought forming in his mind. He's been too high-profile lately, and perhaps the heavens are finally helping him. He decides on the low-profile approach, noting that many others seem to be making the same choice for their missions. A wry smile touches his lips as he realizes the sector seems to know exactly what he wants, preferring a quiet life over the constant glare of the limelight. Walking away with a determined stride, he resolves to remain low-profile until he becomes invincible. The first round of the assessment is then announced, pitting Jade Serene Peak's Hanju against Tianju Peak's Lu Rinjia. Nearby, a young woman with wavy pink hair wonders aloud why Brother Mo isn't present, while Hanju, standing beside her, muses that it should indeed be him. Xing Hongxian, observing the unfolding assessment, remarks on the situation, her voice carrying a hint of anticipation. Meanwhile, a young participant in the arena lets out a terrified shriek, his eyes wide with panic. He cries out for his mother, overwhelmed by the sudden intensity of the match. Hanju, moving with impossible speed, unleashes the 7 illusory steps, his form blurring into multiple afterimages that surround Lu Rinjia, who can barely track the protagonist's movements. Lu Rinjia, initially dismissive, scoffs at the idea of facing such an opponent in the first round, believing it a waste of his precious time. The other cultivators watching from the sidelines murmur in awe and apprehension, some questioning the sheer power on display, others hoping they won't be matched against such a formidable foe. Xing Hongxian, however, simply observes with a knowing smile, her companion beside her muttering in disbelief. Lu Rinjia's arrogant facade begins to crack as he realizes the deliberate nature of Hanju's actions, a subtle shift in his expression betraying his growing surprise. Moving with a blur of motion, Hanju relishes the moment, thinking the pretense has lasted long enough, and now, with no one watching, the true fight can begin. He observes the arena, noting with satisfaction that few spectators remain. And even the judges have departed, leaving them truly alone. As he prepares, drawing his weapon, Lu Rinjia, his face contorted in fury, declares his intent to end the fight, vowing to make his opponent pay for forcing him to unleash the 7 illusory steps. With a menacing grin, Hanju accepts the challenge, his eyes now glowing with an inner power. The speed of Lu Rinjia's attack is astonishing, a blur of motion that even Hanju, now with purple skin and glowing red eyes, struggles to track, realizing just how fast his opponent truly is. A flurry of rapid strikes follows, leaving shimmering afterimages in its wake. The crowd murmurs, wondering if the battle has truly ended, as a defeated figure lies motionless on the arena floor. Completely overcome, Lu Rinjia is unable to get up. Then, a voice rings out, declaring the winner for this round to be Jade Pure Peak's Hanju, who offers a polite thank you for the support, while Xing Hongxian, watching from afar, wonders if he just defeated his opponent too directly. As he calmly walks away, Hanju acknowledges a passing greeting, having merely happened to pass by Heavenly Peak. Meanwhile, Xing Hongxian laments that as his only family, he has always been so cold to her, and though people call him a genius, he seems to care about nothing. She calls out to her big brother, feeling as though he is actively avoiding her. Mo Rong, listening to her words, observes that her feelings are too obvious, explaining that Hanju is an ascetic who doesn't want to be disturbed, believing love would only hold him back. He adds that many people keep distracting him like that, for everyone pursues immortality, following the great Tao. Xing Hongxian then remarks that both of them are the same kind of people, to which Mo Rong quickly retorts not to exaggerate, as he is not like Hanju. Hanju reflects on his recent victories, acknowledging that he has defeated most of his opponents so far. The narrative shifts, explaining that while the battles are getting closer, it's crucial for Mahayana cultivators to make it into the top 10, and the priority now is to strengthen oneself against any unexpected events. Hanju sits in deep meditation, a soft, golden aura emanating from his form. While outside, or perhaps within his meditative state, vibrant, glowing flora pulses with an ethereal light. A strange sensation causes him to stir, his gaze falling downward, then snapping up as he wonders if he's being haunted, feeling an inexplicable pull from somewhere. Finding himself in a swirling, dark void, stars like distant dust motes around him, still questioning the nature of this phenomenon. His eyes glow with an intense amber light, a resonant nong-nong, echoing through the ethereal space. As the cosmic void around him shimmers, filled with countless sparkling particles. From the shimmering expanse, a radiant scroll materializes, bearing the inscription, Nine Dragons Devil Expelling Seal. As he delves deeper into his cultivation, a blinding golden energy erupts, signaling a sudden, powerful spiritual assault. Dark, shadowy tendrils, laced with malevolent red energy, slash through the void, a lingering remnant of some ancient evil. Confronting the unseen threat, Hanju's voice rings out with unwavering resolve, demanding, "Demon, why don't you give up?" The clash intensifies, as a chaotic explosion of white and golden energy engulfs the space. More golden blasts impact, sending shockwaves rippling through the spiritual realm. Another concentrated burst of energy streaks forward, relentless in its assault. Reacting with urgency, he cries out, "Wait, wait, stop it." Yet, the shadowy presence looms, its malevolent voice echoing. It was intellect? It's all the more reason to get rid of it. Gathering his spiritual power, Hanju unleashes a counterattack, red energy surging from his hand as he commands, "Evil spirit, begone." As the spiritual confrontation reaches its peak, a furious voice echoes, revealing itself as the great grand elder of the Jade Pure sect, demanding to know why he is being beaten. The elder's indignant cries continue, questioning the Jade Serene Peak's lack of respect for elders and calling his assailant a barbarian. Hearing the unexpected title, Hanju's eyes widen in utter shock, the words "Great Grand Elder" escaping him in disbelief. A small, contented smile plays on his lips. The Great Grand Elder explains, "The reason you're unable to comprehend what I'm saying is because your cultivation level is too low. You're still too weak." He continues, his gaze fixed on the young man. "How can you possibly understand the mysteries of the world?" A scoff escapes him. "This is how I truly am when cultivating. How can you know what the primordial spirit is?" Hanju's eyes widen in realization, a thought forming in his mind. What was that? Primordial spirit? It almost exploded my spirit. The Great Grand Elder quickly interjects, "Stop, stop, don't tell her. I'll apologize to you." Hanju, still processing the information, asks, "You know my master?" Still reeling from the elder's revelation, he listens as the Great Grand Elder confirms his master is indeed his disciple, and so is the current sect leader. A soft "oh" escapes him, his mind racing with the implications of such a powerful connection. The elder then asks if he desires a legacy, offering a primordial spirit pill, a rare treasure that can greatly enhance one's cultivation and even grant a chance at achieving the primordial spirit realm. Despite the tempting offer, Hanju politely declines, stating he appreciates the elder's goodwill but will forego the legacy. The elder, clearly surprised by the refusal, exclaims that he should do whatever he wants then, calling him ugly. Hanju, however, suspects a deeper motive, wondering if the elder was scheming something and what his master would think about it. Suddenly, Xing Hongxian appears, reassuring him not to worry and offering to speak with the elder herself. She promises to handle the situation if the elder dares to bully him, then tells him he can return to rest early. As she steps in to handle the elder, Hanju's thoughts drift to his own master, realizing the true power of the heavenly constellation golden body technique, and how the senior had truly intended to teach him that very technique. Meanwhile, she muses on the missed opportunity, knowing he is destined to become the strongest disciple of the Jade Pure sect, yet before he can fully cultivate, he finds himself torn between two women, one of whom is his root. Their conversation concludes, and Hanju, putting the pieces together, realizes that old man was indeed up to no good. He ponders the implications, wondering if this means the sect leader and the Great Grand Elder are somehow connected in this scheme. A small, Knowing smile plays on his lips as he decides he must keep this revelation to himself. From the grand sect building, a voice echoes, declaring understanding and announcing departure. Hanju shakes his head, reflecting on the extreme nature of seniors, who not only stay away from women, but would even cut off their own connections for power. Far above, the inner sect city gleams, a stage set for the upcoming battle of the top 10. The grand assessment is formally commencing, with the entire sect gathered to witness the spectacle. From the bustling stands, a group of enthusiastic supporters cheers him on, waving banners and shouting encouragement. He, however, remains focused on his own thoughts, contemplating how to maintain a low profile amidst such a large crowd, even considering a less prominent role. As the cheers grow louder, a familiar voice calls out, announcing his arrival. The crowd swells with excitement, many holding signs and proclaiming their support for the junior brother, wishing him the best and hoping for first place. Among them, Xing Hongxian embraces him warmly, her voice filled with encouragement. Hanju acknowledges their support, promising to do his best. Down on the arena floor, a figure stands ready, as a voice calls out the name, Zhou Fan. From a higher vantage point, Mo Rong observes the proceedings, his gaze fixed on the arena below. Mo Rong watches the arena with a focused intensity, his thoughts turning to the assessment, where he considers Zhou Fan's greatest opponent to be Hanju. Elsewhere, Lu Renjia acknowledges the rumors of Hanju's formidable strength, comparing it to that of the sect's elite disciples. Mo Rong, however, remains unconvinced, believing he holds a powerful trump card that will give him a chance against the protagonist. Meanwhile, Zhou Fan approaches Hanju, offering enthusiastic encouragement, certain he will secure first place. From the stands, junior sister Kai watches the proceedings with a bright smile. Nearby, Xing Hongxian observes the same scene, her expression more reserved. When junior sister Kai attempts to offer a warning about Hanju's potential to land in trouble, Xing Hongxian sharply dismisses her, telling her to mind her own business. Xing Hongxian then gazes out towards the arena, a single word escaping her lips, a silent address to her husband. She gazes intently, her expression unreadable. Suddenly, a sharp voice cuts through the air, accompanied by a vibrant purple aura, demanding to know, who the F***ck are you to call him husband? The taller figure, enveloped in the same glowing energy, retorts, his love dash. The smaller, pink-haired figure recoils in shock, wondering if this outburst is some form of swine retribution. A commanding voice echoes, silence. The great grand elder, his face stern, announces the next phase of the assessment. We will now start the battle of the top 50 for the inner sect assessment. Begin the first round. On the grand platform, Hanju and Zhou Fan stand ready, their gazes fixed forward, while Mo Rong and Lu Renjia observe from the sidelines. The first match is declared. Jade Serene Peaks Han Jieyue versus Heavenly Thunder Peaks Zhou Fan. A crucial detail is noted. The problem is, Han Jieyue has never fought with anyone with mana before. From the distant crowd, whispers spread about Zhou Fan's prowess, with one spectator exclaiming, "It's the Heavenly Thunder Peaks' elder brother Zhou Fan. I heard he's already at the 9th level of the body refining realm." He overhears a disciple discussing the inner sect assessment, revealing that if Zhou Fan ranks in the top 3, he can demand a duel with Hanju, with his Dao companion's fate hanging in the balance. Later, a concerned Mo Rong confronts him, asking why Zhou Fan, with whom he has no close ties, would specifically target him. Hanju sighs, acknowledging his lack of options and his reluctant acceptance of the challenge. As if to underscore the gravity of the situation, or perhaps to offer a silent form of encouragement, Mo Rong's hand glows with a vibrant purple energy, his voice firm as he urges Hanju to give his absolute best. His eyes, now alight with the same intense violet glow, reflect a fierce determination. The potent purple energy swirls and crackles, a silent promise of power. Mo Rong's eyes glow with an intense purple light as a powerful aura of the same color erupts around him, crackling with raw energy. Still wreathed in the vibrant purple, he descends from the sky, his form a blur of focused power as Hanju watches from below. With a confident smirk, Mo Rong challenges him, urging him not to be shy and offering the first strike. A slight smile plays on Hanju's lips as he considers the offer, then calmly accepts. From a distance, the great grand elder observes the unfolding confrontation, his expression unreadable. Suddenly, Mo Rong unleashes a volley of shimmering golden energy blades, sending them hurtling towards a surprised Hanju. As the golden projectiles close in, Hanju steals his resolve, declaring his intention to bet everything on his counterattack. Mo Rong stands ready, a fierce determination etched across his face as purple energy crackles around him, his eyes glowing with power. He urges his opponent to be prepared. Meanwhile, Hanju reflects on his own journey, acknowledging the heavenly treasure he possesses, yet a strange restlessness stirs within him, a feeling he's never experienced before. He wonders if he'll end up like that guy. He dismisses the notion of the Thunder Peak, a place revered by many, as he considers it insignificant compared to his true aspirations. His ambition burns bright, a singular focus driving him forward. He will become the strongest in the world. His potential, he believes, is limitless, and in this world where the strong prey on the weak, He intends to be at the very top. With renewed resolve, Hanju accepts the challenge, vowing to defeat Mo Rong and prove his own strength today. Mo Rong, however, remains confident, asserting his mastery over his own destiny, and dismisses Hanju with a mocking laugh, believing him to be insignificant. He warns Hanju to watch closely, promising to make him regret his judgment, as dark, swirling energy erupts around him, his eyes glowing ominously. Then, with a sudden burst of speed, a barrage of golden energy blades surges forward, aimed directly at Hanju, leaving him to wonder what is happening. As Mo Rong's golden energy blades surged towards him, Hanju acknowledged the immense power, thinking his opponent was even stronger than Mo Fanjian. But in an instant, his absolute defense barrier flared to life, intercepting the attack. Meanwhile, a confident Zhou Fan grinned, declaring that despite any heavenly talent, he would fix Hanju today, challenging him to bring it on. Back in the arena, Hanju stood firm amidst the dissipating purple energy, then moved with blinding speed, a blur of motion as he closed the distance. The surrounding spectators watched, their faces a mixture of awe and confusion. Junior Sister Kai worried that Hanju might struggle to win, especially if his opponent was bringing out treasures. Xing Hongxian, standing beside her, wondered why the crowd was merely clapping, unable to see Hanju doing anything. The rest of the onlookers gasped in utter shock, questioning what just happened. The sudden, unexpected end of the battle leaves the onlookers bewildered, as a voice from the crowd questions if it's truly over. Mo Rong's face contorts in a flash of surprise, the unseen force of the blow rippling across his features. His legs buckle beneath him, sending him plummeting downward, a streak of crimson energy trailing in his wake. The great Grand Elder watches, his eyes wide with disbelief at the swift conclusion. With Mo Rong defeated on the ground, the announcement rings out, declaring victory for Hanju of the Peak. The crowd murmurs in confusion, some questioning the swiftness of the match, while others acknowledge the overwhelming power of Hanju. As the dust settled from the swift victory, the onlookers remained stunned, their expressions a mix of shock and disbelief. The defeated Mo Rong, his face contorted in a grimace of utter astonishment, could only register the word defeated, echoing in his mind. Lying on the ground, his hand limp, he grappled with the unsettling thought that his opponent had gone easy on him. With the top 5 now decided, the great Grand Elder stepped forward, holding the drawing lots mechanism, announcing that the matchups for the next round would determine the top 3, leading to the championship match. Hanju, having been chosen to skip the next round, watched as the remaining 4 participated in the drawing, their subsequent matches proving to be quite spectacular. Xing Hongxian observed him, noting that he would be able to rest while the others fought, a thought that resonated with Hanju, who mused that reaching the Golden Core stage meant he no longer needed to worry about the top 3. Meanwhile, Zhou Fan and Lu Rinjia watched from the sidelines, with Lu Rinjia questioning why Junior Sister Kai wasn't moving with the others, to which she calmly replied that observing the competition was an excellent way to learn. The intense battle between 2 muscular cultivators reaches its climax, their raw power clashing in a vibrant display of energy. One of them, battered and bruised, questions his opponent, wondering why he held back his true strength, his spells seemingly reserved only for the weak. From his elevated platform, the great Grand Elder observes the conclusion, his voice resonating across the arena as he declares the formation of the top 3. A scroll unfurls in his hand, ready to reveal the next stage of the competition. Meanwhile, a defeated participant raises a hand in concession, acknowledging his loss to the Elder. Among the spectators, Lu Rinjia, Xing Hongxian, Junior Sister Kai, and Zhou Fan watch the proceedings, their expressions a mix of surprise and contemplation at the unfolding events. The defeated cultivator, his brown hair tied back, reflects on his exhaustion, admitting that he poured all his strength into the previous fight and is still recovering, thus accepting his fate. The great Grand Elder listens intently, his gaze unwavering. With a respectful bow, the defeated participant offers his thanks, acknowledging the Elder's judgment. The crowd erupts in disbelief, some questioning the outcome, others speculating on the true strength of the defeated contestant. Amidst the murmurs, voices rise, some expressing disappointment in Hanju's perceived performance, while others defend the intensity of the match. And Lu Rinjia, having witnessed the spectacle, finds himself unexpectedly flustered. A faint blush spreading across his cheeks as he processes the events. Suddenly, a system notification appears, announcing that Zhou Fan's favorability towards him has increased to 2 stars. Hanju looks on, utterly bewildered by this unexpected development. Having successfully entered the top 3 in the intersect assessment, Hanju receives a golden goose mystery box containing a treasure chest, spirit stones, a cultivation method, and a jade spirit ice pill, causing him to exclaim with delight. As the great Grand Elder questions his excessive joy over a mere 3rd-place finish, wondering if he was asked to take that position. Hanju humbly denies this, assuring his master he was simply doing his best. The Elder dismisses his words with a grunt, announcing their arrival at the Elder's Hall, with Junior Sister Kai accompanying them. Junior Sister Kai congratulates him on his achievement, revealing the reward for his top 3 placement, the Heavenly Cave Abode. As she speaks, golden particles shimmer around Hanju's hand, a tangible manifestation of his newly acquired rewards. He learns of his first reward, the Golden Goose Mystery Box, which contains spirit stones, a cultivation method, and a jade spirit ice pill. A thought crosses his mind, wondering if these gifts are meant to compensate for his lack of personal guards. As he processes the details of the Golden Goose Mystery Box, his gaze remains fixed on the glowing orbs before him. Then, the second commitment is revealed, the Heavenly Cave Abode, a place brimming with abundant with spirit chi. A spark of excitement ignites within him, realizing this abode is perfectly suited for his immortal cultivation method, which often feels dull without such rich energy. He bows his head slightly, expressing his sincere gratitude to junior sister Kai. Meanwhile, a voice from behind observes his achievement, remarking on his Shantian spirit root and the truly remarkable potential that allowed him to reach the top 3 of the intersect assessment. The elder figure then addresses the group, instructing them to take their flight balls and return to their heavenly cave abodes now that all choices have been made. Hanju acknowledges the command, confirming his understanding. At the periphery of the forest, a towering mountain rises, within which lies a mystic cave. The cave's entrance, though narrow, leads to an equally confined path, before a sudden, blinding light erupts from within. As the light intensifies, the cave unexpectedly opens up. Beyond the brilliance, a vast cave system unfolds, featuring flat, arable land and imposing structures. The land within proves fertile, adorned with beautiful scenery and lush bamboo plants. Meanwhile, Hanju, enjoying his new surroundings, attempts to don a pristine white robe, which feels foreign to him. He wonders if this is the intersect's mystic divine robe, a gift from the system itself. Once fully dressed, he finds it feels no different than his previous attire. Having finally secured his own heavenly cave abode, Hanju feels a profound sense of accomplishment, knowing this never-failing opportunity will allow him to fully concentrate on his cultivation. Meanwhile, outside the abode, Xing Hongxian observes the powerful energy emanating from within, remarking that it must be difficult for anyone to find him. She has already carved a formation nearby, ensuring the main entrance remains visible, hoping others will realize she has found a heavenly cave abode. Unaware of her actions, Hanju remains confident that the location of his heavenly cave abode is extremely well concealed. However, Mo Rong and Zhou Fan approach the hidden entrance, with Zhou Fan questioning if this is truly Hanju's cave abode. Mo Rong confirms his suspicions, stating he was only guessing until now, but is now certain, urging Zhou Fan to look over there. His gaze falls upon a stone tablet, bearing the poetic inscription, "Sighing Foggy, Golden Tomorrow." A small, furry creature beside Mo Rong agrees that the name suits Hanju's personality, confirming it is indeed very much like him. Suddenly, Xing Hongshuan's voice rings out, announcing that Mo Fuzhou is here to visit Brother Han, causing Mo Rong to question her presence. From within his abode, Hanju looks out at the two figures, directly asking why they are looking for him. Having recently dispatched an elder to the viridescent nether cult, Mo Rong asks if Hanju is interested in joining one of the cult's branches. He explains that this particular branch specializes in many pills that could significantly aid his cultivation. However, Hanju declines, stating he doesn't wish to leave for the time being, as he needs to enter seclusion to achieve a breakthrough, prompting Zhou Fan to silently wish him success on his journey. Mo Rong, surprised by his resolve, questions if he truly intends to give up on cultivating the Golden Core realm. Hanju confirms his decision, asserting that there's no other way for him to break through to that realm, leaving Mo Rong to ponder his words. Just as the conversation seems to conclude, Zhou Fan interjects, calling out to Brother Han. He explains that it will be incredibly difficult for Hanju to break through the Golden Core realm, as the heaven tribulation he faces is not something that can be overcome in the Foundation Establishment realm. Then, with a knowing look, Zhou Fan reveals that they have coincidentally found the tribulation site for him. As expected, Zhou Fan thinks to himself, if he doesn't follow Hanju, he'll need to reconsider his own cultivation path, acknowledging that progress requires stepping stones he currently lacks. As the discussion continues, Mo Rong considers the implications of a heavenly grade spirit stone, a rare and powerful item that could significantly aid in cultivation. He then turns to Zhou Fan, stating, "I'm sorry, I'm not interested in fame or fortune." Zhou Fan, however, remains resolute in his own thoughts, believing that if the Jade Pure sect ever faces trouble, he would risk his life to help, even if it meant his own demise, for all he truly desires is to cultivate in peace. Hanju finds himself pondering the true nature of the elixirs he consumes, their intricate properties still a mystery to him. Meanwhile, Mo Rong voices his concern, wondering if Hanju might be stronger than he lets on, chiding Zhou Fan that one cannot simply cultivate in isolation forever. He insists that true cultivation demands engagement with the world, with battles and challenges, convinced that Hanju will eventually seek him out, unless he truly cares nothing for the world's treasures. Mo Rong resolves that once he acquires the necessary elixirs, he will finally surpass Hanju. Elsewhere, Zhou Fan looks out at the horizon, a fierce determination burning within him, vowing to catch up to Hanju and prove his own strength. Back in his secluded cultivation, Hanju receives a system notification, a reward for defeating the Heavenly Emperor's son, a little universe real, capable of creating a personal universe for storage or cultivation, a gift he gratefully accepts, as 2 years then pass in the blink of an eye. After 2 years of intense cultivation, he reflects on his progress, noting that all 6 of his spiritual roots have reached perfection, finally allowing him to attempt a breakthrough to the Golden Core realm. He clasps his hands, understanding the gravity of the moment, knowing that a single mistake could ruin his cultivation forever. As lightning flashes across the stormy sky, he stands resolute against the tumultuous heavens. A bead of sweat forms on his brow as he considers the challenge, aware that even the Heavenly Emperor's son has already achieved this milestone, making his own potential failure loom large. His eyes snap open, glowing with fierce resolve, declaring his ambition to become the strongest in the world, with the Golden Core realm merely the first step. Dark energy swirls around him, reflecting his unwavering determination. When a disembodied voice echoes, a low chuckle preceding its question, "Now tell me, what do you want?" The voice continues, tempting him with possibilities, fortune, women. As the unseen entity continues its probing, it speaks of the world of his strength, asking if he will pursue revenge or forget the past for fame, asserting that the choice is his alone. The voice then presses further, inquiring if there is anything more he desires. It taunts him, suggesting that for the Heavenly Emperor's son, he dares not harbor any other desires, accusing him of being poor at lying. With a determined expression, Hanju reaches out, his hand glowing with a soft light, identifying his target. A triumphant bye-bye escapes him as the inner demon is swiftly eliminated, leaving him free of its influence. Now unburdened, he declares his readiness to go all out, fully committing to making his breakthrough. Suddenly, a surprised expression crosses his face as he looks up, muttering, "Speak of the devil." A surge of brilliant, crackling energy erupts around him. As he activates both reincarnation and the golden cicada's mystic divine robe, enveloping himself in a radiant golden aura. As the breakthrough began, a blinding flash of light erupted, engulfing everything in its radiant glow, before slowly fading into the quiet aftermath. 7 days later, the world had settled, but for Hanju, everything had changed. A system notification confirmed his success, congratulating him on breaking through to the Golden Core realm and obtaining an unparalleled magical sword, the Qilin sword. And with it, the mystical power of the 6-path soul absorption technique reached its 5th layer, unsealing its full effect and increasing his lifespan by 100 years, a truly awesome feat. Overwhelmed with joy, he threw his arms wide, celebrating the small breakthrough that had granted him such immense power and longevity. With renewed focus, he settled back into meditation, eager to understand the intricate relationship between the Golden Core realm and reincarnation. His eyes, now burning with intense resolve, reflected the boundless potential of his new cultivation. He feels the surge of power, a system notification confirming his successful breakthrough to the Golden Core realm, the acquisition of the Qilin sword, and an enhancement to his 6 paths soul absorption technique, extending his lifespan by a full century. A thought crosses his mind, wondering if the Golden Core realm is somehow connected to reincarnation itself. His eyes widen slightly as he considers how many more years of cultivation it will take to truly grow old. Looking down from a high vantage point, he sees many disciples of the Jade Pure sect gathered at the inner sect, with those less severely injured waiting outside for treatment. A wider view of the city reveals a bustling scene, as those recovering are instructed to gather at the northwest square. Among the injured, a young boy sits with bandages, receiving care. Hanju stands quietly among the other disciples, observing the organized chaos. Nearby, Mo Rome tends to the same injured boy, addressing Hanju with a familiar tone. Xing Hongxian, her expression serious, looks towards someone off-panel, remarking on their return. Within a grand hall, beneath an intricately domed ceiling, a voice echoes, respectfully greeting a master. Kneeling before a white-haired woman, Mo Rong expresses his surprise, admitting he thought she wouldn't return after the intersect test, and regretting his failure to greet her sooner. The master, her gaze sharp and unwavering, questions his surprise, having believed he had abandoned the sect entirely. Nearby, Hanju listens intently, a bead of sweat tracing his temple as he processes the exchange. The white-haired master then reveals the gravity of the situation, declaring that the Jade Pure sect is on the brink of an even greater disaster. Her eyes narrow with resolve, as she states her intention to give the sect a chance. Hanju's expression hardens, his voice cutting through the tension with a stark declaration. Anyone can simply leave the Jade Pure sect. A ripple of unseen energy or emotion follows his words. A desolate, stormy sky weeps rain onto cracked earth, the downpour collecting in a single, still puddle. Above a swirling vortex of blue lightning, identified as the Jade Pure sect, Hanju observes the chaotic energy. A whip-like object materializes in his hand as he turns away, a single thought echoing through his mind. Are you kidding? His amber eyes widen in disbelief, a stark realization dawning on him. Presented with a stark choice, abandon the Jade Pure sect for a low-grade spirit weapon, or stay and fight a demonic cultivator for a high-grade weapon and a fate stone, he resolves to lose it at the first chance. Yet, a flicker of concern crosses his face as he looks up, a question forming on his lips. Master, what about you? Having made his decision, Han Ju's resolve hardens, declaring that he will live and die alongside the Jade Pure sect. Meanwhile, a woman with long, wavy white hair and striking red eyes gazes out, her expression serene. Back with Han Ju, his hand clenches slightly, as he considers the implications of his choice. His determination unwavering, he reiterates his vow to stand by his master. A moment of surprise crosses his face, as a new thought enters his mind. He questions his own fear of death, acknowledging it, yet reminding himself of the golden cicada's protection, as a system notification appears. As he processes the information, a series of system messages flood his vision, revealing that Xing Hongshuan's favorability has increased, making her his disciple, and granting him a low-grade spirit weapon, a high-grade spirit weapon, and a fate stone. Despite these rewards, a wave of frustration washes over him, muttering that it's all so annoying and goes against his initial plan. Yet, looking up with renewed resolve, he vows to protect his master and everyone else, declaring his intent to become stronger. He considers the various paths to longevity, but he has no desire to become his master. A deep unrest settles within him, knowing how difficult it is to cultivate, yet he remains confident he will succeed. Meanwhile, Xing Hongxian, surprised by his words, insists she hasn't taught him anything, feeling he doesn't have to do this. He firmly rejects her notion, reflecting that he had once hoped to surpass his master, who had already gifted him a spirit stone. He acknowledges her help in his recent realizations, grateful for the time spent in the cave, and internally resolves to assist his master, who was troubled by his unsuitability for the best cultivation method, wishing only the best for him. Xing Hongxian, however, assures him the situation isn't yet serious, appreciating his consideration. She then recalls her master's own fear of death, which led her to ask to be left alone. Later, she asks him if he's noticed how much his disciples have grown, to which he replies that he's been too focused on cultivating to pay attention. He then notices her own cave dwelling, and with a slight sigh, grants her leave, deciding it's best to let her go for now. Yuer, we have to reach there first, Xing Hongxian insists, her voice firm. Understood. Holding up a small bottle, she instructs, help your brother in accordance with my plan. Everything is in the storage bag. Her eyes gleaming with determination, she affirms, got it, master. Sister. A low rumble echoes through the cave as Han Ju's thoughts race, wondering, sister, why are you here? Why is senior sister cultivating in my personal cave abode? He stares, utterly bewildered, muttering, this is... Master asked me to set up a spiritual formation and sow spirit plants, she explains, detailing how it is all to increase the spiritual qi. These spirit plants have been refined to the extreme. They will be able to absorb spiritual qi from the heavens and earth and convert it into spiritual energy, which will be beneficial to your cultivation. Beaming, and holding a bouquet of glowing flowers, she asks, isn't it great? I never thought you'd do all these. Still explaining her unexpected presence, Xing Hongxian clarifies that she spent 5 hours setting up the spiritual formation, planting spirit plants, and arranging talismans and arrays, all under their master's instruction. A look of surprise crosses Han Ju's face as he hears this, but she quickly dismisses his gratitude, insisting there's no need for thanks. With a gentle smile, she assures him that soon, his senior sister will move in with him, prompting him to question her meaning. Her gaze softens as she continues, addressing him as senior sister. Han Ju leans in, his expression serious, asking if she desires his cave's spiritual qi. She turns her head slightly, a hint of bashfulness in her posture. His eyes narrow, a flicker of concern passing through them. As he exclaims, his voice laced with disbelief, that cultivation is all she knows, and that she'll get lost. Beyond the cave, the majestic spiritual mountains loom, their peaks shrouded in mist, hinting at the vast power of the cultivation world. Han Ju stands alone in a sun-drenched field, his gaze fixed on the distant horizon. 5 years later, he finds himself before a mysterious cave entrance, a faint, ethereal glow emanating from within its depths. Inside, Han Ju kneels, his attention captured by a glowing system screen displaying his 100 spirit root and confirming his status at the 3rd level of the Dao Core realm. A revelation that causes him to reflect deeply. He trusts the system's truth, understanding now why his own cultivation had stalled, and recalling the similar struggles of his senior brothers, Imo and Dong Sun, as a new system notification flashes before him. The notification reveals a connate beast's providence, prompting him to wonder if such a powerful creature truly resides within the cave above. Han Ju, now 5 years older, reflects on his past life as an ordinary person, never expecting to become a cultivator. He thinks of his parents, who passed away when he was young, and his master, who took him in. He considers himself lucky to have found the Jade Pure sect, a place where he can cultivate in peace, and feels a surge of good fortune. Yet, a lingering thought troubles him, wondering if he is truly alone in this vast, ancient mountain range. Meanwhile, a chilling message is carved into a stone wall, a declaration from Qin Santan. He will have the advantage, starting tomorrow. A masked figure scoffs at the message, dismissing the Jade Pure sect as cowardly. He observes a distant figure, a cultivator in light robes, muttering to himself not to let the target escape. The masked man watches, his gaze unwavering, confirming the target's isolation. His eyes glowing with malevolent intent, Shin Santin snarls, declaring his target already dead, now that he is alone. A palpable killing intent radiates from him, his face contorted in a furious snarl. With a sudden burst of power, a blinding, golden light erupts, signaling the launch of a devastating attack. His eyes snap open, glowing with a fierce, amber light as the incoming threat registers. From the shadows, a figure unleashes a devastating technique, manifesting as 3 glowing shadow swords that tear through the air. The attack slams into an unseen barrier, the assailant wondering aloud what kind of technique could contain such spiritual energy. A blinding explosion erupts, shattering the air with raw force. Overwhelmed by the relentless assault, he finds himself unable to fight back. Suddenly, the attacker, now on the defensive, pleads, "Elder, please wait." Standing before a massive stone tablet, the cloaked figure tries to explain, "Elder, this is a misunderstanding. I must be allowed to pass by." With hands raised in a gesture of surrender, he reiterates his plea. Internally, the assailant grapples with confusion, wondering who this powerful individual is and why he's never heard of such a formidable sword technique within the J-Pure sect. His face splattered with blood, Shin Santin reels from the revelation, realizing the true identity of his opponent. The voice of his interrogator echoes, demanding to know if he is indeed Shin Santin, and questioning the lack of inherent defense from an elder disciple of the J-Pure cult, wondering what fate awaits the cult if he is handed over to the J-Pure sect. The figure stands silently, his hand resting on the hilt of his sheathed blade. Shin Santin's mind races, baffled by how his background could possibly be known. Dropping to his knees, he pleads desperately, admitting his error and begging for another chance. Hanju, however, considers his options, weighing whether to capture Shin Santin and hand him over to the sect, or to use him to spread word of the J-Pure sect's power. His decision made, he begins to draw his sword, the blade glowing with a golden light. Seeing the movement, Shin Santin's eyes widen in terror, and he screams a desperate threat, vowing to kill Hanju's disciple if he isn't released. A swift, glowing slash cuts through the air. The swift strike leaves a bloody mark, but Hanju's expression remains cold as he declares he has no disciples. He holds the injured Shin Santin, repeating, "I don't have any disciples." With that, he turns and begins to walk away, leaving Shin Santin to collapse to the ground, his mind reeling. This elder, he realizes, must be a pervert, impossible to escape. He's in the Golden Core realm, a power far beyond anything Shin Santin's organization could trace. Hanju looks down at him, his voice cutting through Shin Santin's thoughts. "Is that all the information my core disciple has?" A flicker of thought crosses Hanju's face. He still wonders if his pupil Mo Rome's mysterious pure shadow sword is too strong, a skill he'd rather keep hidden. Turning back to the defeated man, Hanju offers a simple command, "No worries. You follow me." Shin Santin, humbled, quickly agrees, thanking the elder for his mercy. Hanju leads him into a secluded cave, its entrance hidden by a powerful formation, ensuring no one will ever notice it. He can't forcefully search Shin Santin's memory, Hanju muses, but he'll think of another way to deal with him. He looks down at the defeated figure, his expression unreadable, as he considers the implications of the battle. Shin Santin, still reeling from his swift defeat, can only manage a weak, almost desperate plea, acknowledging the vast difference in their strength. Hanju, however, remains unmoved, his voice calm but firm as he presses the point, reminding his captive of the consequences of his actions. He offers a path forward, a chance for the other man to learn from his mistakes, his words carrying the weight of absolute authority. The defeated cultivator, his face etched with fear and resignation, can only agree, his spirit broken by the overwhelming power he just faced. Hanju's gaze intensifies, his tone unwavering as he reiterates his demand, expecting nothing less than complete submission. Shin Santin, utterly humbled, bows his head in defeat, the weight of his failure pressing down on him. Hanju rests peacefully, his expression serene as he enjoys the quiet solitude of his cultivation. Perched on a tree branch high above the forest floor, he finds a moment of calm amidst his rigorous training. Later, seated on the ground, surrounded by the soft glow of the forest, he continues his meditation, drawing strength from the natural world. Meanwhile, from a hidden vantage point, Shin Santin observes the young cultivator, a calculating thought forming in his mind. The elder fears cultivating, he doesn't know the true meaning of the path of heaven. His eyes glow with a fierce, yellow light as he continues his internal monologue, admitting to himself, "I have been spying on him for a long time. I am the secret disciple of the sect master. It will take a long time to surpass me." Contemplating his next move, he wonders, he will definitely not consider me his disciple. What should I do? A determined glint in his glowing eyes, he concludes, he dares to cultivate fearlessly. He has no chance. Still focused on his cultivation, he wishes for greater speed, thinking that if only he could cultivate faster, he would never have to worry about anything again. A blur of motion follows, and a question echoes in his mind. Who am I? Then, with a confident smile, Hanju declares himself the formidable disciple of the viridescent Nether sect. Meanwhile, from a hidden vantage point, a pair of glowing red eyes watches him, the observer's gaze sharp with intensity. "Hanju, unaware of the scrutiny, laughs to himself, proclaiming, I'm so strong. A system notification appears as Chen Santin fumes internally, disgusted that this man, who only clears sect ventilations, could possess such an inflated ego. Another system notification confirms Chen Santin's hatred for Hanju has increased to 4 stars, as he grapples with the protagonist's alarming cultivation speed. He vows to keep a close eye on him, determined not to let Hanju steal the sect master's favor. Hanju sits in quiet contemplation, reflecting on his cultivation. Despite his efforts, he remains at the first level of the Gold Core realm, wondering if he should simply fight his way out of his current predicament. Meanwhile, Chen Santin, his eyes glowing with a malevolent yellow light, watches from the shadows, plotting. He vows to ensure Hanju never breaks free. Confident that by the time Hanju makes a move, he will have already reported everything to the sect master within the Jade Pure realm. Suddenly, his eyes widen in alarm, glowing a furious red as an unexpected surge of power emanates from Hanju. The sheer force of it leaves him stunned. Hanju's pure chi erupts, manifesting as an ethereal figure that tears through Chen Santin's cloak, reaching a new, profound level. Turning, Hanju addresses his former observer, stating that he has given him enough chances and no longer needs his protection. With a glowing hand, he strikes, blood splattering as he declares that those too weak to fight for their own lives are unworthy of his protection. Leaving the defeated figure behind, Hanju walks away, anticipating that the sect's seniors must have sensed his breakthrough and will soon come to challenge him. A chilling prophecy echoes, warning that killing a small threat only invites a larger one, and eliminating the large one will summon an even older, more formidable entity from the heavens. As if on cue, a surge of vibrant purple energy erupts, swirling with particle effects, signaling the arrival of something truly powerful. From within the maelstrom, a monstrous, shadowy figure with glowing red eyes fully materializes, confirming the ominous prediction of an old one appearing. Its single visible eye burns with fury as it snarls, declaring that death awaits for those who dared harm its disciples. Undaunted, Hanju steps forward, his voice steady as he challenges the entity, asking if it possesses the courage to state its name. Before the monstrous figure can respond, a new voice interjects, belonging to a young man with a confident smile, who introduces himself as Chow Chow, then asks for the other's name in return. The monstrous figure, surrounded by its purple aura, reacts with a growl, identifying itself as a senior of the Jade Pure realm. As the confrontation intensifies, a system message flashes, indicating that new information is being processed. The system continues to gather data, with the monstrous senior still looming amidst the swirling purple energy. Hanju receives a system notification, revealing that Zhang Kunmo's hatred towards him has developed to an immense degree, now rated at 5 stars. Meanwhile, in the vast, rugged mountains of the cultivation world, a voice suggests that it would be better to contact the sect and send someone to clean the floor. A woman's voice echoes through a dark cave entrance, calling out for her husband, wondering if he is present. The red-haired Lady Xing smiles brightly, her presence illuminating the cavern. A small, chibi-like figure of a man reacts with exasperation, cursing at Lady Xing's sudden appearance. An unseen observer notes with surprise that not only was she sent, but she even managed to bypass the array formation, questioning its effectiveness. The man, now appearing in his full form, asks Lady Xing the reason for her visit to his humble abode, as she replies that she is here to see him. Lady Xing addresses him affectionately, while the observer realizes that this man is the elder of Jade Pure Falls, a figure of significant importance. Hanju presents a collection of pure jade pills, explaining that he has saved them for years, offering them freely to Lady Xing. She questions his generosity, but he clarifies his intent, stating that she is always in a dilemma and cannot possibly cultivate to the peak of the immortal realm otherwise, not for a few hundred years at least. A look of dawning realization spreads across her face as she begins to understand his deeper meaning. And he instructs her not to tell anyone about his breakthrough, then extends an invitation, asking if she wishes to be his true companion. He continues, explaining that she has no other choice, for otherwise, after a few hundred years, he will become an immortal while she will be white-haired. Lady Xing's expression softens, acknowledging his deep love as her eternal punishment, and she admits that he is right, unable to repay him. Turning to leave, she looks back, promising him that he can rest assured, for she will help him get the best cultivation pills. A look of utter confusion crosses Hanju's face as he tries to clarify, insisting that's not what he meant. Hanju had thoroughly looted the storage rings and bags, finding them filled with spirit stones, various pills, talismans, and curses, though notably lacking any equipment or cultivation manuals. He transferred all these treasures into his little universe belt. 8 years had passed since he eliminated Chen Santian, and in that time, Hanju had advanced to the 9th level of the Golden Core realm, while his other spirit roots remained uncultivated. After Xing Hongshuan's departure, he found himself pondering whether she might be related to Master Xixian, given the shared Xian in their names. A dark, empty chasm stretches into the unknown, a place where unforeseen events unfold. Within a secluded chamber, several figures gather around a table, one of them declaring, "You must not have intervened to save him." Duan Tianshan, the former elder of the Heavenly Sword sect, listens intently. As the bandaged figure continues, his voice laced with conviction, he is deceiving most of the Heavenly Sword sect. The figure's eyes glow with a fierce red light as he proposes, let's just ignore him and attack the Jade Pure sect directly. Duan Tianshan nods in agreement, affirming, old brother Mo is right. We should lead the army and attack the Jade Pure sect. Another voice chimes in, me too. He continues to lay out his strategy, confirming that the Heavenly Sword sect has already invested heavily in his plan, and with the Jade Pure sect's leader now gone, the timing is perfect. He believes that if he can achieve a breakthrough into the Golden Core realm, the fight against the Jade Pure sect will be an easy victory. His companion, Duan Tianshan, expresses surprise, asking if Chen Santin is truly confident in this audacious plan. Duan Tianshan reveals he has been preparing for this moment for decades, his confidence unwavering, even if it takes another 100 years. Chen Santin, however, urges haste, declaring that they cannot wait, as 30 years is nothing compared to their ultimate goal, to destroy the Jade Pure sect and use its women as cultivation furnaces. Duan Tianshan's eyes gleam with dark resolve, vowing that his disciple will be avenged, even if it means sacrificing his own life. Chen Santin's eyes glow with a sinister red light as he dismisses the Jade Pure sect as insignificant, challenging Duan Tianshan to prove his remaining strength. Meanwhile, elsewhere, a different kind of progress is being made, as Han Ju feels himself growing stronger every day, a sensation that has persisted for the past few years. He marvels at his incredible luck, attributing it to his thunder and wind spiritual roots, which have reached the first level of the 5 spirit roots, a rare and powerful cultivation foundation. He stretches out, basking in a newfound sense of joy, feeling incredibly fortunate. His mind drifts to a memory, or perhaps a vision, of Lady Xing and another young woman, their faces beaming with happiness as they reach out to him. A voice, seemingly Lady Xing's, echoes in his thoughts, questioning how someone could have possibly entered. He ponders the implications of her presence within the Jade Pure sect, realizing the potential trouble and resolving to find a way to discreetly remove her. A more ominous thought then surfaces, the future destruction of the Jade Pure sect, compelling him to protect it, while Lady Xing's grateful voice thanks him in his mind. Her imagined response is humble, attributing everything to the master and downplaying her own efforts. He reacts with a soft, appreciative smile to her words. The vision shifts, Lady Xing's voice warning him that merely visiting the Jade Pure sect would make him a target for the demon sect, as a spectral image of Brother Mo Rong appears, prompting the question of who he might have killed, followed by the stark answer, died. Mo Rong's spectral form then speaks, asking why he is there, revealing that his presence is what the enemy values, and that they desire his death. As the elder of Jade Pure Falls questions why someone would abandon him, a young Han Ju, seated before him, responds that he wouldn't know, having never been close to them. His eyes reflect a distant memory as the elder's voice echoes, mentioning Brother Mo, and how his parents had died after abandoning him. A younger Han Ju, a mere child, looks up at his master, asking what they should do. The elder, standing beside the teenage Han Ju, considers the situation, wondering if they should search for the missing parents. Ultimately, he decides that if they are not found, the child can take over his parents' work, as the fields still need tending. Han Ju, still young, protests, reminding his master that the child is too small for such hard labor. But the elder's resolve is firm, stating that it's better than starving alone in the wild. Looking back, Han Ju remembers the times he missed meals while working with the pigs. Yet he never complained once in all those years, acknowledging that the elder had even raised him, and that he truly missed his. He considers the path ahead, acknowledging that if it means he might not even be able to cultivate, then perhaps that sort of cultivation isn't for him and his capabilities. Some leave too soon, leaving behind an age of melancholy. He muses, finding the journey both long and short. A memory of his senior sister surfaces, a silent plea forming in his mind. She must not look down on her little brother, because if she were gone too. Lady Xing's worried expression fills his thoughts, a silent confirmation of his fear. Yet, his resolve hardens. The spiritual route cannot be rejected, he'll have to try. He vows to strive further on the road of cultivation, a silent farewell to his senior sister echoing in his heart. He walks away, his back to the viewer, toward an uncertain future. His gaze is distant, lost in thought. Later, a weathered tombstone stands, bearing an inscription. It reads, I hope you're born into a good family in your next life. Brother Iron. Continuing his relentless pursuit of cultivation, Han Ju found himself amidst crumbling stone, meticulously searching through the hidden treasures of Chen Santian for golden core cultivation pills, hoping to accelerate his progress. Lying peacefully amidst the vibrant green, a contented smile graces his lips, as he muses on the rare sensation of good fortune. A feeling that has been all too fleeting in his arduous journey. Another decade passes in the blink of an eye. Even without the aid of pills, Han Ju's spiritual roots, all save for his fire root, have ascended to the 10th level of the Golden Core realm, pushing his cultivation through to the nascent soul realm. As his 100th birthday approaches, the system unveils a new function. He stares at the glowing blue interface, a question forming on his lips. What could this new feature be? The system congratulates him on reaching the age of 100. revealing it has unlocked the simulation trial function, designed to strengthen parameters, simulate cultivation, and detect hidden dangers. The simulation trial, a function allowing him to simulate battles or years of cultivation, sect development, and disciple growth, is currently limited to a single use, though its cost is unlimited. A flicker of surprise crosses his face as he considers the implications, wondering if such a trial could carry the risk of injury or even death. His hand reaches out, a gasp escaping him as he realizes the immense potential. This is an overpowered, truly great skill, and the system prompts him to activate the simulation. Considering his own formidable strength, he decides it's finally time to put it to the test. A determined glint enters his eye. Stepping into the newly unlocked simulation trial, Hanju finds himself in a vast, empty training ground, a system message welcoming him to this new challenge. He gazes up at the holographic display, wondering if this experience is truly a dream or a conscious reality, as the system prompts him to choose an opponent. A list of names appears, each promising greater rewards for a stronger foe, and he considers his options, from Zhang Kunmo to the Great Grand Elder. With a decisive gesture, he selects Li Qingzi, a formidable opponent at the 4th level of the nascent soul realm. And in an instant, a figure materializes before him, its glowing blue eyes fixed on him as it greets him as Sect Master. The simulated Sect Master's eyes burn with an intense, otherworldly light. And Hanju's own eyes widen in shock, realizing the sheer speed of his opponent. He is incredibly fast. A system notification confirms his thoughts. This simulation trial is indeed extremely vivid. The Sect Master moves with blinding speed, leaving a trail of purple energy in his wake, demonstrating the illusionary steps of his technique. He had barely entered the simulation when his opponent launched a full-strength assault, forcing him to immediately unleash every trick he knew. Drawing forth the radiant Guilin sword, Hanju prepared the formidable Three Suns technique. With a surge of golden energy, he unleashed the shadow sword technique. A blur of motion, he plunged downward. The attack culminated in a blinding explosion of light and force, shattering the air with its impact. But to his utter disbelief, the Three Suns technique had no effect at all. The simulated foe was simply too strong. The Sect Master stood completely unharmed, his body glowing with an impenetrable golden body, rendering Hanju's attacks useless. A confident grin spread across the Sect Master's face as he challenged. Then, how about this? He unleashes another devastating technique, the Nine Dragons Trail. The attack manifests as a glowing expelling seal, hurtling towards his opponent. It detonates in a blinding flash of light and raw power. As the brilliant light fades, dust and debris cascade through the air. Undeterred, he presses his assault, striking the Sect Master with a rapid flurry of glowing, blue-tinged blows. But the Sect Master stands firm, his golden body completely unshaken, absorbing the full force of the Nine Dragons' expelling seal, leaving Hanju to realize the vast gap in their cultivation, acknowledging that his attacks are futile. He can only reveal the opponent's strength, not enhance his own within this trial, a frustrating limitation given the Sect Master's seemingly impenetrable defense. A sudden system prompt materializes before him, offering to adjust the opponent's power, currently set at the 1st level of the Foundation Establishment realm. Gazing at the prompt, Hanju can't help but marvel at the incredible sophistication of this simulation tool. Within the grand halls of a distant sect, a voice echoes with disbelief, questioning how such a thing could be possible. An elder with a long green beard and hair turns, his expression grave, demanding to know if the dire news is true. Surrounded by cloaked figures, he wonders aloud how anyone could have fought against such an opponent. His concern deepens as he asks about a way out, acknowledging that while the individual hasn't reached the golden core stage, their soul power is immense, pushing their spiritual sense to its absolute limit. Another elder, with white hair and purple robes, stands beside him, suggesting they could still seek help, a sentiment the green-haired elder echoes with a hint of desperation. The green-haired elder's face contorts in frustration, revealing that he has already sent pleas to other sect masters, but no reply has come. A young woman with flowing white hair looks on, her gaze troubled, asking if it's truly impossible to save him, before proposing an alternative. She addresses her senior brothers, as the group is reminded that their great-grand elder is in seclusion and will not be available for some time. The green-haired elder sighs, his thoughts turning to Chan Sangtan, a formidable figure none of them can surpass, having already reached the golden core stage. He unleashes a shadowy, potent technique, a power so immense it said only the great elder and he himself could ever hope to master it. The force of the attack is absolute, leaving his opponent utterly smashed to smithereens. Having just defeated a 5th-level nascent soul realm opponent, a formidable feat, Hanju relaxes, a contented smile spreading across his face as he muses that simulation trials are truly fun. A wave of unease washes over Hanju as he stares up at a colossal, muscular figure, its form radiating immense power, while the words Heaven Constellation Volume 1 appear before him. Suddenly, a swirling vortex of light blue and white energy begins to coalesce, as bolts of brilliant blue lightning violently strike the jagged, rocky terrain. The ethereal power continuing to surge and intensify, taking on a more defined, almost dragon-like form amidst the chaotic glow. The manifestation grows even more potent, crackling with prominent blue lightning and radiating a powerful aura, before finally erupting in an explosive burst of blinding blue and white light. As the divine sense of the heavenly constellation Volume 1 began to spread, a profound shift rippled through the spiritual realm, instantly affecting all 6 types of spiritual roots within a 100,000-mile radius. The very air crackled with raw power as the heavenly constellation technique commenced, drawing in cosmic energy to form a swirling, brilliant vortex. He was instantly enveloped in a dazzling blue aura, his eyes glowing with an ethereal light as he broke through to the next stage of cultivation. Under the immense pressure of his breakthrough, the very ground beneath him fractured, and bolts of lightning erupted from the sky, mirroring the explosive power within him. Observing the distant, cataclysmic event, Xing Hongxian wondered if he would still need her help, a flicker of concern crossing her features. A wave of self-reproach washed over her, convinced that her own slow progress was entirely her fault. She couldn't allow herself to be a burden, resolving to break through her own cultivation bottleneck, no matter the cost. The cosmic energy continued to surge around the distant mountain peak, a powerful reminder of the gap she needed to close. With renewed determination, she turned and walked away, vowing to cultivate harder, to catch up, and to prove herself worthy of him. 10 days later, a desolate landscape stretches out, as if scarred by recent events. Through the barren peaks, a figure moves with incredible speed, leaving trails of crackling energy in his wake. A blur of motion against the stark rock faces. Suddenly, Hanju's eyes snap open, a sharp question forming in his mind. Fiendish aura? Are they here? Meanwhile, in a snow-dusted mountain range, Xing Hongxian gazes toward a dark cave entrance, recognizing the familiar energy. It's emanating from the cave. I must have disturbed it with my attack from the other side. It's a relic from the Junior Brothers' cave goods. Her gaze hardens as she considers the implications. I brought him back to the cave. If I leave now, it might cause him even more trouble. With a decisive motion, she reaches down to retrieve an item from the ground. I'll just take it with me. It's not like he'll notice. And with a swift descent, she soars away from the cave, leaving the snowy peaks behind. Hanju, deep in meditation, feels a profound shift within himself, a surge of power as he finally ascends to the nascent soul realm. His cultivation has broken through, reaching a new pinnacle. The nascent soul realm, the first step towards supreme power, signifies that all his spirit roots have now merged into a single, potent spiritual root, allowing him to directly absorb the spiritual energy of both heaven and earth. No longer needing to cultivate each spirit root individually, his progress will become significantly more efficient with this new 6-path spirit root. A system message confirms his breakthrough, rewarding him with the mystical power of the heavenly swordsman, great deity sword. Overjoyed by the news, he exclaims his excitement, realizing the immense power he has gained, enough to last for nearly 1,000 years. But his celebration is cut short by a sudden system alert, warning him that he has been detected by an immortal emperor and must immediately hide himself. A familiar dread washes over him as he wonders if this is the time he's been anticipating. Having just been recognized as the new strongest person in the Jade Pure sect, the Taoist Tianxian and heavenly swordsman of the first level of the soul formation realm, he considers the system's prompt to initiate the heavenly Aion trials, recalling his past victory over a soul formation cultivator even when he was only at the golden core stage. With a confident tap, he decides to try it out. Meanwhile, in a desolate, shadowed land, figures scramble to retreat, a desperate cry echoing through the air. Amidst the chaos, a lone warrior moves with frantic energy, a name shouted in alarm. Suddenly, a menacing, bandaged figure with glowing red eyes and sharp, exposed teeth emerges, a sickly green aura radiating from him, his voice a guttural challenge to an unseen foe. His gaze sharpens, questioning why his target has not yet appeared. As purple lightning crackles around him, the cult leader muses that another's task should be nearing completion. He stands on a raised platform, his form wreathed in dark, crackling energy, as 2 kneeling figures below him affirm their loyalty. His voice booms, commanding all disciples to listen, declaring his intent to kill everyone and everything. His bandaged hand glows with sinister power as he reveals his true purpose. Since he cannot find Cao Cao, he will use other disciples of the Jade Pure sect. The dark aura around him intensifies as he vows to offer them to honor his disciple's soul. Meanwhile, a system notification flashes, announcing the trial has ended after a mere minute, leaving Hanju in a state of wide-eyed shock, the name Dun Yongshi echoing in his mind.